Peace and blessings, y'all. Welcome to the GOAT James Kingdom Show with B. Lee and A. Johnny. As y'all know, we go live every Sunday, noon Eastern Time, to talk basketball and the GOAT conversation. We got a special guest for you right here, the one and only Mike Peak. What's good, bro? Say what's up to the GOAT James Kingdom platform, brother.
We done with the 90s. Jordan big trash. We calling him Jordan Cougar now. He ain't got no left hand. Garbage. What's poppin'?
Yes, indeed, y'all. We are the GOAT James Kingdom platform. Thank you, Mike. Listen, y'all, this is the real Mike Peak. This is the real. We are done with the 80s. We are done with the 90s. Not those other fake accounts that's been stealing his material. So when you guys want to follow this man, we're going to put the link up and all his accounts, all his pages for you guys to follow him, because this man is out here changing the basketball world. So ladies and gentlemen, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, check out the membership in the GOAT James Kingdom channel where we provide exclusive content, material, and merch. And on top of that, y'all check out Mike Peak's merch, as he got t-shirts for sale, as y'all can see, because we done with the 90s. It's over. So thanks again, Mike, for showing up. Ladies and gentlemen, you know we got our panel, so hit that like button. Brandon, go ahead. What you got for us today, ladies and gentlemen?
Everybody know who Mike P is. He's all over the internet. Say we dealt with the 80s and the 90s. And last show we actually did, our show showing Michael Jordan in the 80s and the 90s. So I know we're going to ask a few questions with you just to basically get, to like know everything more about you. So first thing I want to know, why did you start this "we done with the 80s and 90s" thing?
The reason I started it, it was just one night back in October. Um, I was just watching some old school basketball, and I was watching Wilt Chamberlain, and he was big trash, and I was like, man. So I just kind of was like, I'm about to record this and put it on. So I recorded it and put it on like October 25th, but my notifications doesn't pop up on my phone. So after I recorded it, I didn't see it again until like January. My homie called me and was like, "Hey, you got a video that's got 1.2 million on your Facebook." And I was like, "Huh? What?" So I scroll back down and I see it. I'm like, "Man, this is crazy." I was like, "Well, I'm gonna make a few more and see how it turns out." So I made a few more, and they started jumping. And I was like, man, I might be on to something. But this is what I've been doing my whole life, watching basketball and critiquing it the way I do.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, listen, bro. Not only is your critique brilliant, it's hilarious. We love it here in GOAT James
Thank you.
Kingdom. Shout out to what you was doing. So bringing up that Wilt Chamberlain video, is that the Wilt Chamberlain video going up against Kareem?
Yes.
So that's you. That's you in that video. Okay, because that video went viral as well, like you said. And obviously, you're changing the narrative, bro. You're changing everything, the way people talk in basketball. You got old heads and 90s fans upset. No, now that you are viral, how does it feel being viral? Like, how does it feel? What's the pros and cons of being viral on the internet?
When I first went viral, like I said, I didn't even know it. And it was exciting, it was fun in the beginning, and me and my family was like really getting a kick out of it, and I was pretty much prepared for anything that came my way, I thought, until I realized that somebody was stealing my stuff. And I was like, so that was a big wrench in the game when I first started, and that really stuck. So I had to put countless hours in for a couple of weeks trying to combat some guy that was stealing uh, my stuff. So that was a downer. So it was like, as soon as I was just like so happy doing this thing, I was about to quit, because I was like, man, somebody's stealing my stuff, getting credit, and I don't really know what's going on. So I
Mm-hmm.
started reaching out to a lot of people, my friends and family, like, what should I do? So slowly, but for surely, I got some advice. The watermark, I was still having, problems with that, but just to answer the question. But then once I kind of combated a little bit and I started getting some recognition, because I was going to the top people and was putting, hey, this Joe Reaction is stealing my stuff. But in a sense, this guy, he blew up and kind of blew me up, but people think it's him.
Mm. Yeah, that's messed up. That's messed up. But
Yeah.
yeah, that is messed up. Again, we unfollow that channel. You guys make sure you in the comments you see all his accounts. If you want to reach Mike Peak, these are his accounts. He has an Instagram, he has a TikTok, he has a Facebook, he also has a YouTube account as well. Let me put his YouTube account up there as well. So y'all make sure to subscribe to his channel. Y'all make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel because we are the GOAT James Kingdom platform and we done with the 1900s. So
We
what you
been done with the 90s.
what you got, Brandon?
All right. So I want to know, what is your Mount Rushmore of NBA players?
My Mount Rushmore NBA players, I would go with, of course, King James, LeBron James, first, because man, come on, man, 21 years in the league, come straight out of high school, live up to the hype, the way he did, take care of himself, take care of his body, take care of his family. He ain't gonna be gambling on the side. And then they got an interview. I remember they interviewed Michael Jordan. He got all these big black glasses, and the lobby saying, "So what's going on with the gambling?" He's sitting there with his black glasses on. We can't even see his eyes. He lying. We ain't had none of that. LeBron James. So, um, LeBron James is number one. Jordan number two. Kobe. Um, Shaquille O'Neal. Steph Curry. In that order.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
You
All
know.
right. That don't sound too bad. That don't sound too bad at all. So obviously, like you are being who you are, and as popular as you become. What are the things you want people to know about you, the real Mike Peak? Because like you said, people are stealing your material. There's a lot of confusion about who you are, where you coming from. Some people probably think you're 25. We don't know nothing. So what is it about Mike Peak you want the real public to know? Let everybody know here on the GOAT James Kingdom channel. Who is the real Mike Peak?
I would like the public to know that I love and respect the great NBA players from the past. Although the 80s was full of cocaine, a lot of players were playing coming off all-nighters. That's what makes watching them so funny. Um, and that's where all the big trash plays come from out of the 80s and 90s. But I just want people to know, look, I love the players. I love the game. This is just my way critiquing the game and having fun. All
Right. Hey, fix your mic a little bit, bro. I don't know if you're too far from the mic so we can hear you a little bit better.
Okay.
Yeah, you good now. You good now.
That's better. That's
Sorry
better.
about that.
Yeah, we good. We good. So go ahead, Brandon.
All right. All right. Yeah, question I got. I know you are a Bron fan. You talk about how great he's been in 21. How do you relate his greatness to people trying to discredit his, longevity, his 21-year career? Like, what do you say about that? All these people who's discrediting what he's been doing for 21 years, like it's not even legit. 40,000 points don't even matter because Jordan couldn't do it.
You know, you know, when I started to doing this, um, and I started to see the reaction from the public, to me, people were just sick and tired of Jordan being up on this pedestal like he was just the greatest ever. So, I kind of fed into that, like, um, LeBron put in a lot of work. And he ain't getting no respect for it because they done made Jordan out to be this god. And he's just this normal person like anybody else. But a lot of people just ignoring all of LeBron's accomplishments. And I just thought that was unfair. And I don't know why they doing that. So I'm not sure if I quite answered that question.
Now you did answer
Yeah,
right.
that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been saying the same thing. The way they talk about the 90s, the way they talk about the 80s, and how they disrespect today's NBA, you can tell they don't watch today's NBA and they don't watch the games in the past. So you going back and looking at these games is put pressure on them. Because now we're like, you need to go look at those games. Because Mike Peake is looking at film. So what do you say about the people who say, hey, he only cherry picking? He not really looking at the film. Can you explain exactly what you're looking at? What are you finding? And are you cherry picking or not?
No, I'm not cherry picking. I watch the whole game, and as I'm watching the game, if I see a big trash play, I just call it out. I just call out big trash plays. You know how I see it. You know, if Jordan go to the hole and do a move, and if he, if Jordan Kruger, once he starts going left, and he do some big trash, I'm gonna jump on it.
Oh my God, bro!
And it ain't just Jordan. I know we talk about Jordan, but it's everybody.
Yes, yes.
People get a bigger kick when it's a kick out of it when it's Jordan, but if you notice throughout the game, I'm getting on everybody.
You are. You did, and you started off with the 80s. Like you said, you went to the 70s, so you went to the 80s, and now you're on to the 90s, and that's when it really got very upsetting. So, again, y'all, check out Mike Peake's content. We got all his pages and accounts available in the chat. We also got a link to his merch in the chat. Support a brother, man. He's out here doing good things. He ain't doing nothing negative. This is what we do. This is real basketball content. He sits there and watches the film. None of y'all be watching the film. All y'all do is watch the same 21 highlights of Jordan Kruger, the right-hand bandit, the right-hand menace, and y'all get mad at this man for what he's seeing. And we all seen it because we showed it to y'all last week. So, Brandon, you got another question?
No, that's cool. Let's just open up to the panel to ask a question.
All right, well, let's start with you, Craig. You got a question for Mike? You want to ask him anything?
Well, they looking mad. Frank, come on with it. You guys look serious.
I could never be mad at somebody's opinion. That's why I don't understand. Y'all be getting so upset at someone's opinion. I can never be mad at somebody's opinion.
Yeah, Craig is too cool for that.
As long as he got Jordan number 2, I'm okay with it. Like
he does have Jordan in the Mount Rushmore. He does do. But what's your question, Craig? What you got for him? I know you got something for him, Craig.
Jordan was the greatest.
I like the content. I laugh at it. I don't think nothing like negative of it. I enjoy it myself. I support it, and it's cool. It's fun. Like if everybody liked Jordan, then it wouldn't be a debate. Like.
But it's not our fault you on the wrong side of the coin, though, for Craig. Go ahead, Travis. Go ahead, Travis.
No, man. I mean, lots of love for what you're doing. Like, I think in a way, it's really good because like it's causing a lot of people to look at different eras, whether it's like out of spite or whatever. But I think it's exposed a lot of people to other facets of basketball, like they maybe weren't considering in the past, and like they like to juxtapose and just like increasing interest in the game online, especially among certain groups, which is a good thing, I think. Like Craig said, you don't always have to share the same opinion, especially if you're ranking players or whatever you think is better. I think as long as you have a great conversation and you have good takes, then that's really what's important. And I think I really do like some of your takes there. And
Thank
like I said, lots of support to you.
Thank you. I just, and I'll tell you, for me, I'm more happy, and what motivated me to really keep making these videos, like I said, when I when I found out, somebody was stealing my stuff, it was a big low, and I was ready to give up. But when I saw thousands of people laughing, I said that motivated me to keep going, because I've always made people laugh my whole life. All my friends, everybody's around me. So all my family is like, yo, now the world getting to see the real Mike Peake, because I've always had people around me cracking up. So to see people all over the country and in some parts of the world just getting a kick out of this and laughing and bringing laughter and happiness, that's what it was. That's what it's all about for me.
But just to be clear, we done with 90s basketball, nothing else, right? The movies, the music, we still love that, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Original Space Jam.
Well, in a sense, I just...
Because I like the Nas in the 90s. I don't like the Nas in the 2000s.
Right, but...
Wax, Craig.
For what done with the 90s mean, but if you consider, like, I did I got this peak time story time that I do from time to time, and I just shared a story about how when I was in high school, my freshman year, our coach used to play with us. He used to practice with us in practice, and I'm a freshman starting varsity, and I was guarding him, and mind you, this has something to do with done with the '90s, and so I'm guarding him, and he looks at me before he catches the ball, and he goes, "Mike Peach, I'm getting ready to shoot this ball." Oh, wait a minute, I was getting ready to say some. Can I cuss or no?
Yeah, you can cuss.
Oh,
you can
okay.
cuss.
So the coach
Go ahead,
looked at
bro.
me, and he was like, "Mike Peach, I'm getting ready to shoot this ball all over your hairy ass pussy." Mind you, I'm 14 years old, and I'm looking like, damn, I got a hairy pussy. So, and then I remember it was a time where we had an out of town game, and we played out of town. Once we got finished with the game, we went back to the hotel. Everybody was taking showers, getting ready to go out to eat. That same coach, rest in peace to him, he comes up, coming to everybody's room, checking on him, make sure we get ready to go. He comes to my room, he goes, "Hey, y'all, Mike Pete got stretch marks on his ass. Mike Pete done had a baby, y'all." So everybody started laughing, and I'm thinking like, damn, I didn't even know I had stretch marks on my ass. So the coach couldn't talk like that today to the kids. I thought it was funny back then, but yeah, man, we're done with the '90s. You can't get a lot of stuff you just can't do anymore.
You know what? Listen, y'all, again, he has content. He does have the Mike Peak story time. I've heard other countless stories as well. The brother is hilarious. He's funny. John, you got any questions?
Hey, real quick. So you did hear the one when the one story time when I said I was sleeping and the brother climbed through the window. I'm sleeping in the bed with this little chick I was
you was messing with somebody's lady. You should have been.
Climbed through the window, jump on top of my chest, punching me in the face while I was asleep. Go check that one out, man.
And hey, there is a moral to the story too. Trust me, there's a moral to that story. Trust me, there is a moral to the story. John, you got a question for Mike?
What's up, Mike Peak? I have reposted some of your stuff. I always tag you in it. Some of Johnny had did one day, and I didn't know people were stealing your stuff like that.
Hey, hold on, bro. Hold on, something happened to the mic. I can hear it. Let's see. Why I do that?
We can see you. Can you hear us?
See you and hear you.
We can see you and hear you. Can you hear us?
I can hear you, but it's very staticky for some reason.
Try to close out any other windows if you're using your phone, like any other app. Like don't use YouTube or nothing like that. Just use the link, the browser. Just leave the browser open.
Do what?
Just leave your browser open to the link. Don't have like YouTube or anything else open.
Okay.
Oh, he bounced out.
Yeah, he bounced out.
Uh-oh. Yeah, oh man, ladies and gentlemen, we did have Mike Peak on. We're going to try to get him back on. And all you got to do is hit the link, Mike, and you can get back on. Brandon, you want to put the link up and let some members up?
Yeah, but,
until we can get Mike Peak back on.
Yeah, but they talked about Mike Peak on the Gorilla Arena show, and nobody knew who he was.
Okay.
So I put his name. His name.
Okay, we back. It sounds good. What was your question, sir?
No, what I was saying is I reposted some of your stuff, and I always tagged you in everything I posted.
Appreciate that.
And they brought you up on the Gilbert Arena show.
Yeah.
And nobody knew who you was. So I was in the chat, Mike Peak. And nobody.
You need a shirt. You need a shirt. Send me your address.
And I messaged you. I messaged you in Instagram and said I brought you up on the Gilbert Arena show because nobody knew who you was. So I kept putting Mike Peak because nobody knew who you was. So hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate your insight. Hey, keep doing what you're doing. Like I said, I repost your stuff. I always tag you in it. And keep doing what you're doing, bro.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, indeed. Listen, y'all, again, all of his accounts, as far as his YouTube account, his TikTok, his Instagram, his Twitter account, all of his accounts, Facebook account is available in the chat. Hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and follow all of Mike Peak's content. Again, he also has the merch available in the comments as well. Hit the link, get his shirt, support a brother, keep doing what he's doing. One quick question before we let you go, Mike, if you have to get up out of here.
Yeah, I do.
You went with the 80s, you went with the 90s. Is the 2000s safe or not? Are you going to start attacking the 2000s as well?
That's more content. Yeah. I'm working my way. You know, I got so much to do with the. I'm still gonna go back to the '70s and look at a couple things. So yeah, I'll be working my way gradually. You know, through it all.
You got to look at the ABA and the NBA in the 70s. You got two leagues to watch.
Hey, because listen, they get very mad at me when I talk about big trash Carmelo Anthony. I watched Melo his whole career shoot brick after brick after brick and just be gunning. And I'm like, and then he's always getting all this praise and big contracts. I said, you know what? Carmelo is the most hyped player I've ever seen. He ain't gave nobody nothing. And he's a superstar. The NBA was, you know, they was doing something. They learned from Jordan, because if any of you guys was watching back then when Michael Jordan retired, I was watching the games. If anybody was watching back then, you're gonna know what I'm talking about when I say this. When Jordan retired, basketball was crap. Nobody wanted to watch basketball. The ratings plummeted. So the NBA learned from that. They learned to not put that superstar tag on one guy like that. And so they learned how to market a little bit better. And Melo, he came through the door when the NBA was superstar tagging everybody. That had a hype to it. So he came with superstar hype, which allowed him to shoot 40 times a game and brick most of them for a 15, 16-year career. So, yeah, and like I say, it's same thing for Iverson. Iverson came, shot a lot of bricks, carried heavy with his crossover to the point the league had to say, nah, we got to call that carry, bro. You just, nah, man. You know, cross Jordan over with the carry, made him look bad. So they start calling that carry, and he respected the game so much that he drunk himself out the league. He party and not practice the league. And then when it came time for him to retire, when it came time for Allen Iverson to retire, the league said, "Get your ass out of here." And he was like, "What? Can I get on the team and have my retirement? See you later." They said, "Nah, you didn't like the practice. Get your ass out of here." And he just disrespected the game. But people are praising him, and he walking around with a rag out his pocket, hands praise. He brought that thug, and Michael Jordan at the time was like, "Now come on, bro. Everybody is watching us. Young kids are watching you. Wear a suit, wear a tie to the game. Show these other black youths that, hey, man, they don't have to dress like a thug. They don't have to have cornrows and rags hanging out his pocket." But he went the opposite way and said, and made it even worse, and said, "What the fuck is practice?" He was an embarrassment to the culture. But everybody's looking that off and get mad at me when I bring it up. So yeah, I'll be making my way on up the chain.
All right. Well, y'all heard it. Y'all heard it from the man himself. The 2000s ain't safe. Nobody is not safe. Thanks, Mike Peak, for joining us in the GOAT James Kingdom platform, bro. Thank you again. We are subscribed to the channel.
Hey,
yeah, man.
Hey, send me your address, dude, in the middle who sent me that and said, "Mike Peak, I got you. I got a shirt for you. Your address and your shirt size." I thank all you guys a lot. I had a good time.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you. Don't worry, bro. I'm about to order a shirt myself. I'm about to get something sent to me. You're going to see one on Friday Night Exposure, me wearing one of your shirts, man. Appreciate you, Mike. Thank you again. Thank you for joining us.
When they start saying we done with the 2000s, that's what I'm
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Mike Dion Peak, the real. We are done with the 90s creator and inventor. Give that man his credit. Give him his shout out. Make sure you holler at him. Get his merch. Keep doing your thing, brother. Much love and respect. Peace and blessings, brother.
All right, thank you, man. Have a good one.
Thank you. Thank you so much, brother. Yeah, thanks for coming on, man.
All right, thank you. Y'all take care. Peace.
Yes,
all right, see you.
Thank you, sir.
Technically,
Yes,
we was
y'all.
done with the '90s on January 1st of 2000. Like,
So, ladies and gentlemen, listen, y'all. We are the GOAT James Kingdom platform where we talk basketball like none other. You guys know what we do best. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Don't be afraid to check out the membership because we doing special things here in GOAT James Kingdom. We just had Mike Peak. We are done with the 90s on, and he got a chance to explain who he is, what he does, and why he's doing what he's doing. So you can no longer run around and lie on this man's name. Let this man live and let him do his thing. If you can't create better content, don't be mad. Because we're not mad. His content is better than ours. We like the shit. It's good. But we do what we do in GOAT James Kingdom. We don't need to steal. We don't need to do nothing. Because Brandon and I got this. So we are here, ladies and gentlemen. It is Sunday. It's a great show. We're going to put the link up for anybody who wants to have a conversation with us. What you got for us today, Brandon?
I'll probably have some a little bit later. I'm still trying to get it together.
All right, so let's get you a little recap, you guys. Obviously, you guys got a first chance to meet Mike Peak in person. So, Craig, what you think of Mike Peak, man?
I mean, like I said, I had no issues with it. I thought it was funny and hilarious. And like I said, I enjoy having like. There's no fun of talking to 10,000 people who like the same thing that you like. Like, there wouldn't be a conversation. I wouldn't be here if it was Goat Jordan King.
Of course not. What you gonna talk about? Mid-range jumpers and defensive player of the year? There's nothing to talk about, man.
I mean, there's a lot to talk about.
Hey,
Man.
Craig and Travis, I do have a question for y'all. This is LeBron James showing we always spit out how LeBron is the greatest and all this other stuff about LeBron. Do y'all get irritated at all that we put LeBron to this pedestal that's higher than Jordan? Because it's nothing.
No, like it's y'all opinion. Like I literally just said, I can't be mad at what y'all think. Like if you mad at how somebody else's think, then you got bigger issues. Like
No,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it would be weird if everyone like had the same exact like opinion and taste in every single like. Look, Peak had Curry top 5. I'm not mad at it. I think I've met a lot of people who actually do, and the same with Kobe. And I said that's just what you're observing and how you rank it, and that's good. I mean, it's better. Like Craig said, if it was just like us up here slurping Jordan the entire time, and we're like, that's it. There was no debate. Everyone was just like, yeah, we agree. It would be like a 2-minute show, like every single week. So I think it's good for debate is good for everything.
Great, yeah.
if there was no debate, there would be no done with the '90s thing. There would be no nothing.
Yeah.
This debate broke
Yeah.
all of this up. So if everybody liked it, Jordan, then there would be none of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Well,
true.
Again, that's why we exist. We are the GOAT James Kingdom platform, y'all. This is what
So
we do
again,
best.
Jordan's the reason y'all exist. Thank you. He's the GOAT.
Got him.
Yeah, listen, man. It was fun having him on. I've been put on to him for a while. Obviously, my algorithm for social media is nothing but basketball, and I get nothing but Mike Peak content. It's hilarious. My son and I showed it to him. He was telling me the same thing. It looks trash to him. The 80s is trash. The 90s is trash basketball. And now, from my understanding, he's going after the 2000s soon enough. But there's so much trash in the 90s, he hasn't even got a chance to get to the 2000s.
Yeah, watching it, it's different because we was watching film last week and we was cherry picking, film when we watched Jordan. So it's a little bit different.
It is different.
It is a little bit
I
different
still can't. I still can't
watching
finish
what
the
Jordan
first Super
did because a
Mario
lot of
game,
people
but I
they
beat
never
all
really
the
watched
new
Michael
ones.
Jordan.
No, they never have. They never really have watched Michael Jordan. They really haven't. And your recollection of it is also like 90% false, to be honest with you. But
And that's why I went back and watched it in college. That's why I have never been, oh, Jordan is the greatest thing alive because I went back and watched the game. My boy, he used to get on me all the time about how LeBron wasn't this, Jordan is superior. Then we sat down and watched it, and his whole outlook changed. Like, this is not what I remembered. This shit is different. Yeah, it is. It is different. It's a lot different than what people used to think how it was.
Yeah, that is crazy, man. Again, it is fun. Y'all make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We are the GOAT James Kingdom platform. It's hard, and like I said, what has happened now is that because he has gone back and watched the film, he's forcing these guys to go back and watch it, and they don't even want to watch it. So not only are they not watching today's NBA, which they already admit that they don't watch today's NBA, it's horrible, right? That they don't even want to watch the games in the past. They don't even want to take their time to just look at that. So what basketball do these supposed basketball experts who know about basketball watch? When they sit here and tell us that we don't know basketball, but they don't even watch nothing.
Y'all referring to?
Sports.
We was on FYF last night. Travis will tell you.
He don't even watch games.
Travis don't want to talk about FYF. Travis don't want to talk about FYF. I was in the chat. Travis want to leave FYF. He want to pretend like that never happened.
I know my migraine does.
I know.
But I was gonna say, I know you woke up with a headache today because you was on that whiskey hard last night, bro. But Craig, everybody was saying the same thing yesterday, right? Because when Lamont made the video about Jordan being on steroids, now it's like, well, it's everybody. There is so many Michael Jordan fans out there, and y'all act like y'all don't exist. Y'all literally act like y'all invisible men. You act like all these Jordan fans, we just make them up. We don't make these people up. They actually exist. They don't bother you, Craig, because you don't talk bad about Jordan. But let us talk. You don't see what's in our comments. You don't understand the crazy thing. Somebody sent me the other day, die. You just put just die. Like that was the actual comment. Die. That was the message he sent to me. Just die.
I'll never understand like how you can get to a point as a fan where you like you let someone's opinion rattle you to the point where you say things like that, or you just lose all common sense and go off the rails. Because I mean, if you can't talk basketball, I guess that's what happens. But then, you know, the best way to do that is just say, hey, I appreciate your take or whatever. But yeah, like the people you're referring to are on both sides, but I get it. I've met people who are rabid Kobe and Jordan fans who are just like that, like just, you know, vicious, and like no opinion is valid except for theirs. If you have a different one, it's not met with, hey, let's have a discussion. It's like, hey, fuck you. You know, it's just like you said. And those people we need to continue to check them. So.
Again, you know, that's why we exist, man. We're the GOAT James Kingdom.
They don't bother me because I don't care too enough about anyone's opinion for them to even get that. Like I said, nothing someone can say about somebody else can get me like that emotional. Like
the threats I've gotten through my DM and in my comments is, I mean, unbelievable sometimes. And it's just an opinion. And what I've done lately is I try to bring it back to people. Let's just talk basketball. And let's leave it at basketball. Let's not go personal. And I try to keep the people on my page. I used to just block people and just leave it alone. But what I've tried to do is like, let's bring it back to basketball. And let's just talk basketball. You can tell me your opinion. We can disagree. But let's just talk basketball. Let's not try to threaten going back and forth with each other and do all that. Let's just talk basketball.
I ain't let none of them strangers on my personal page. I keep the basketball talk to them groups. I ain't got time nobody get that personal.
Yeah, listen. It's crazy, man. Like I said, I deal with it a lot. That's why me and Brandon created this platform to give people like us a chance to talk basketball, and even people like y'all, so y'all could avoid it as well. Because as you can see, we talk it like none other, man. We talk the game, and we actually watch the game. So I don't know what to tell y'all. You know, we're just ahead of the game, and a lot of you guys are upset at what we say, but y'all never can prove us wrong, or y'all can never prove whatever y'all say right. So I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to tell y'all. All I know is we're going to keep coming every Sunday noon. We're going to keep coming on every Friday night, and we're going to keep creating more content. We're going to open more nights and more things. We're going to get more members, and we're going to have special shows, special content. We're going to keep growing. Our 2-year anniversary is right around the corner. We're not going to stop, man. We are GOAT James Kingdom, man. We are GOAT James Kingdom. This is GOAT James Kingdom. Yeah.
That's what they
Plus, you know, we're just in here having fun, you know, talking about LeBron, you know, always Jordan, Kobe. Like, this is just fun. And it's just certain people who take this too personal. They just take it too personal. Like,
I've had to stop myself from posting in your group. Like, I literally banned myself. Okay, no group activity.
I always like when people try to get me to like a lot of the comments or whatever, like after our videos, or like, not even like on just other pages, they'll be like, they'll ask me like, "Oh, what do you think about what he said?" Like, "Oh, they don't use facts." I'm like, listen, I may not like agree with every opinion or take like people have or on the panel or whatever, but I'm like, it's not like they're just saying these things. They always back it up like with facts, context, and like that's part of the reason why I respect them. And so they're like, a lot of people get mad at that. So it's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
hilarious.
and like one of the main things I know, majority of people think Jordan is the GOAT. There's everyone knows this. There's no problem with it. But one of the things we do is we always bring up things LeBron has done better than everyone in the history of the game. So that's what we stick to. Like we stick to like he's the greatest because no one has done this before, and they stick to LeBron's on steroids. LeBron's not loyal.
They can't explain.
LeBron's stat pad.
Now you gotta admit, if that was
Yeah.
Juanita Jordan, they said had stuff going on with the PEDs, y'all would have been running with it too. So I don't want to hear that.
False.
If
False,
Juanita
'cause
Jordan was linked
false.
to steroids, y'all would have been.
I mean, we
false.
like Jordan had a lot of things
Y'all
going on
would've
in his
linked him
career
to his
that
father
we
death.
don't care
Come
about.
on.
Like we don't care about because what Jordan has done in his career cannot measure to what LeBron has done in his career.
I'm not talking about y'all per se, but I'm talking about.
Oh, you talk about the fans?
And-
Yeah, there's ridiculous fans everywhere. Like
But I'm just
they're
saying,
just
no,
ridiculous.
but-
Yeah.
But wait a minute though. Again, shout out to Lamont FYF Sports Debate. He did a show just recently, this past week, where he proved some very good evidence that Michael Jordan could have been doing steroids as well. It's
I
hard to
watched
gain.
that at Johnny.
It's hard to gain 15 to 20 pounds of muscle in
Lean muscle.
in 90 days and over the summer. So there's some things that we can talk about, but we're not trying to knock Jordan's career. Like Brandon said, we don't have to do that to prove LeBron's better. Like, who cares if Jordan was on steroids or not? He quit twice. That's enough. If we really want to just make fun of Jordan, he quit twice. That's it. Like, what else we gonna say? He couldn't shoot threes. He couldn't go left. Like, we don't have that shit. And we stick in the basketball. Y'all always got to take it to the extra length. Because y'all see how great LeBron is now, so now you got to figure out, well, damn, he must be on something. It got to be steroids. We got to knock that because it's starting to look too much. The longevity argument is failing, just like 6-0 has failed y'all. Everything that y'all throwing in front of LeBron James, he ran through it like a freight train. Everything.
I mean the longevity argument ends when he's doing things in year 21 that no one has ever done before. Like no one in NBA history has averaged 25 points per game, 8 assists per game, shooting 50% from the field and 40% from the 3-point line. No one in NBA history has done that.
That 3-point
Like-
percentage is crazy to me. Him
And
shooting
then
3 this season is crazy to me.
Now let's
Yeah,
just
and
be,
then-
let's just be
yeah.
a lesson. Now he learned to shoot better because he wasn't always a great 3-point shooter. But as the game changed to a 3-point shooting league, he became a better 3-point shooter. So you would adapt to how you play, right?
I mean, he's
I don't know.
always been able to make threes.
No, yeah, he can make them, but
Yeah, he's always been able to make threes. He shot
Shortening the line
40%
is
in
not- it's not making-
2013. He
Yeah,
shot
he's
40% in
not
2013. Like he shot 40% 10 years ago. And as he was younger, he was still nailing threes from the logo.
why
Like
he
he's
wasn't-
always been a 3-point shooter.
You say
No, he's talking
10
about
years
Jordan.
later, so it wasn't consistent.
So it's just the value. His volume has
The
has
volume,
gone.
yes, he's
No,
a
he
good
became
three-point-
more- he
a
became
good
more
high volume
efficient.
3-point shooter this season.
Jordan didn't become more efficient because as soon as they dropped that
But what I'm
3-point
saying
line,
is
or
they
backed
wasn't
it up.
shooting threes the way they're shooting threes now for him too.
No, that's true. But there's no
That's what I'm
evidence to say.
saying.
But there's no
It
evidence to
works
say
both
Jordan would
ways.
shoot threes though. There's no evidence to say Jordan would be shooting threes. There's no evidence of that.
I mean, there's a lot of players who played 20 years in the league didn't develop, or 10 years that didn't develop a 40% shooting 3-point percentage. Like,
I mean, Vince Carter is the best example.
But there's a lot of players that you're gonna name didn't play when the team averaging 20 to 30 3-point attempts a game. When he's in, that's a big difference from a team taking 10 3-pointers to a team taking 25 30. How many of those 3-pointers are you taking now?
It don't matter. Michael
mean,
Jordan is
of course,
great.
Mike, take a lot.
I'm just saying.
Michael Jordan is great.
great.
Michael Jordan is great. Again, he's a great player. We're never going to take away even with all the things that we make fun of Michael Jordan for not being able to do. he is still a great basketball player, just like majority of the great players in NBA history. That's just the facts, man.
Yeah. We always say Jordan was great. Jerry West was great in his era. I don't think Jerry West would come here and average 30 points per game. I mean, Michael Jordan was great in his era. I definitely
No,
don't
with
think
Jerry
he'll come
West,
in here and average
if you
40
had
points per game.
video, you could take all his shots he made that counted as twos and see if the threes, and that might be a difference because they didn't have no 3-point line. He averaged 27 with no 3-point line.
He tied a finals game. He tied a finals game with a heave, and if that was a 3-pointer, he would have won that game. They would have won that game instead of it going into overtime.
I mean, 27.
I don't even know. I don't even know if they won that game too. I don't even know if they won it in overtime. To be honest with you, I don't know if they won that game. But
he averaged 27 with no 3-point line.
Yeah, with no. Again, Brandon be always saying he doesn't think Jerry West can do that, but he also stands 10 toes down with everybody else, like he says with Jordan and other people. So, but again, we don't.
He
don't
says Jordan in '96 will come back in '88 and beat the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah, I believe he was that great. I think he was that
the only
great.
thing he believes in hypotheticals.
Everything else. Let's put up the.
I mean, it's not that far away. It's almost the same era. Michael Jordan was a much better player in '96 than he was in '88.
Yeah, we're gonna put up the link for y'all so y'all can join the panel. Y'all can let us know what y'all think of the Mike Peake interview.
Used his team better.
Again, y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We put our Discord channel conversation for us as well in the chat line. We had Mike Peake on, explain to us why '90s is trash and big trash, and Travis and Craig has been doing a good job trying to defend it. We had Chilltown on last week trying to defend it, but it's kind of over, man. It's kind of wrapped now.
Chilltown out there on the explanation tour about the '90s. He about to explain everything about the '90s.
And you know what? They didn't do it. They didn't do it when he made that video about Kareem and Wilt Chamberlain. It was funny. Nobody was mad when he was calling Dominique Wilkins perm juice and all of that stuff. Nobody was mad when he was making fun of Artist Gilmore and that dude with the biggest ball spot ever who showed up on the Chicago Bulls, who I don't even know who that was. When he was making fun of those guys, they weren't mad. When he was calling Larry Bird no muscle mass Bird, right? They wasn't mad. It wasn't until he started attacking the '90s when he started showing you the footage in the '90s. That's when everybody got upset.
The '90s greatest era ever.
Supposedly it's the greatest
era ever.
That's all. They make everybody.
It's the greatest era outside of basketball. It's not in basketball. Definitely not in basketball. So we got Ace 30 and Twin Man in the building. I know you guys were there from day one. We see you in the comments. What's good, Ace 30? What you got for us, man? You saw we had Mike Peake on, man. What you think of Mike Peake, man? Since you heard, the real Mike Peake, you heard him. Everybody heard him.
Yeah, salute everybody. Y'all know my thing is first and foremost, John Stockton's not a top 5 point guard. You gotta get that out the way. We're done with the '90s. We're done with the '90s. That includes John Stockton. I don't know what to tell you. Also, I always had this not suspicion, but thought. But now after doing more research, watching the film even more from both players. I know that Jordan didn't even pass Kareem, and the only reason why he's perceived that way because Kareem isn't as market. That's it. Like that's pretty much it. Like anytime people just try to elevate Jordan above Kareem, they come off hypocritical, and beyond with you, they value shoe shells over black representation. But that's what that is. But in regards to the Mike Peake interview, though, right? That this particular interview didn't really change my perception of it because, like he was saying, and what you just said, hey Johnny, I was familiar with it, and frankly, I'm not surprised by the backlash he was getting because that's what people do. Like people don't do their due diligence and do enough research to try to understand a person's content. Instead, they want to be emotional, reactional to the things that they hold precious to them. Majority of these guys grew up in the '90s, so there's a nostalgia feeling to them. So when you say we're done with the '90s. The premise is really just keep the era for what it is. But people get offended by that because they take it as personal. They take it as if that's part of my childhood. That's what I grew up on. So you say we're done with the '90s. You're saying you're done with me, and I'm not done. Well, you're getting older. How life works is just like how they did for Kareem, just like for fans who represented Bill Russell and Wilt. They died off, hence their representation in these conversations lowered. Just how when you guys die off, It's gonna be the same thing for Jordan, but the difference is, unfortunately, the way people personify and try to make that era in Jordan angelic is a huge backlash because of today's accessibility to information.
Hey, Sturdy, I got a question for you.
Yeah,
Do you think the pushback on Kareem had anything to do with his religious beliefs?
it had everything to do with his religious belief and the fact that he wasn't had good relations with the media. See, a lot of people aren't aware these guys' legacies up until social media era. These guys' legacies were primarily advertised through the media,
Yeah.
especially when they retired. So you notice when people talk about greatness, they try to put at the standard of Jordan to only elevate Jordan or a certain era. Where reality, that's never been the case. In reality, it was disrespectful when people was considering him the greatest of all time in '93 when he had nowhere near the resume of Kareem did. But he got away with that primarily due to only marketing.
Yeah, it was a lot
That's
of
it.
marketing around Jordan.
I'm mad.
Y'all make it
I'm
seem
mad
like
at
Jordan
30.
went to the NBA because he wanted to be marketed for like he said, I'm going to play the NBA so I could be marketed as the best player ever.
I don't think
And,
Jordan.
and that's a typical response from a Jordan fan because
I'm
I
just
didn't
saying.
during my whole monologue,
Went to the media.
hold on, Craig.
But it's
During my
still,
whole
his skills had
monologue,
nothing to do with it.
during
Like
during my whole monologue, I didn't
but
but you
the
heard
greatest player ever. That's all I'm saying.
but you heard me say during my whole monologue, I didn't attack Jordan whatsoever. I attacked how he be represented in the angelic pedalization that people like yourself, you're not alone, but other people put it on this pedestal for no reason. Even David Stern, the main guy responsible for the media hype of Jordan, regretted that media scheme because of the way people fell into it. People deviated from being loyal to teams and started being more loyal to individual players. And when you do that, you're actually lowering your perspective on the understanding the game of basketball. And so it had nothing to do with Jordan. Matter of fact, the league needed to do that because majority of the product in the NBA was trash. They needed to lean on Mike. They needed to. So I don't blame Mike for that, but I blame the people being inaccurate with his career by just resulting to surface level logic.
And the one
Sturdy,
thing
I
Mike
don't like you right now, bro. I don't like you right now, Sturdy.
the one thing Mike Peake did bring up,
Beat you to it, man. It is what it is. Go ahead, bro.
the one thing Mike Peake did bring up is when Michael Jordan retired in '93, it was in a bad space. They did know who to market because they marketed around him. And it was in a space where how do we market this game around someone else when we put nobody up there? I mean, they backup might have been Charles Barkley, and he was telling y'all he wasn't a role model.
Right.
I mean, they started marketing Penny. Basically, Penny had all the commercials, but Penny was kind of quiet.
Yeah,
He was, he was kind, but he was the second most marketable player in the '90s, and we all know his career
It
was
was
short
him and
when
Grant Hill.
AI came.
Remember?
I mean,
him and Grant Hill.
They didn't really market Grant Hill like as like big as Penny, and it's the same thing with Grant Hill. It was really short.
Yeah.
It was really short. So Michael
They
Jordan,
tried to.
like it makes sense to market Michael Jordan. He was just so superior than everybody in the league. Not only was he superior than everybody in the league, he was winning titles.
That's kind of
Just
not
like
true, though.
Barry Sanders in football, he was just unbelievable. Just like Jordan was, he was just unbelievable. So of course they're going to market Jordan. Jordan was great. Jordan was great, and it took somebody like LeBron to, really change that argument about how great an NBA player was.
So
And Brandon,
I
if
agree.
he leads to that point, and wait a minute,
Hold on,
let me just land this right here.
Hold on. Wait, no, did Twin Man get a chance to speak yet? Because I
No,
stepped
no.
away from. No, let's let Twin Man get in right quick. Go ahead, Twin Man. What do you got on it? And we get back to you,
right
Sturdy.
now.
Yeah,
I don't like Sturdy right now. The very first question I asked on Goat James Kingdom was, when did Jordan ever pass Kareem? That's like one of the first questions I ever asked. I have everything Sturdy said, I have literally come up here and said. And B. Lee, this is where you're wrong. They did try to market other players. I remember Grandmama. I remember the little puppet Penny. I remember all of that. They were able to be marketed in their team's area. They didn't have national appeal like Jordan did. That was the only difference. Jordan had
I was saying like everyone try to market their players, but no, they try to put Penny up on like Jordan's level at one point.
he
That's what I'm
wasn't
saying.
as
Like he's the
he
only player
wasn't
that they try to
charismatic.
put on Jordan's level.
Yeah, but Penny wasn't as charismatic. So that's why it couldn't happen. But everything Sturdy said is 100% true. Magic and Bird really saved the NBA after Kareem and Wilt and them really started to taper off. Magic and Bird and Isaiah, they really saved the NBA. But Jordan took it to the next level. I'm not gonna lie, but it's gone too far at this point because the whole movement's based off of, and this is what I love about Mike Peace and what's going on. He's watching the games. I was born in '83. I remember 10 years old and on watching all of these games because I was trying to watch TV. My brother's only thing they was doing every Sunday was watching basketball. Every Saturday, watching basketball. So the only thing I could do was watch basketball. I remember watching all of these games. And I just remember a bunch of foul calls and a bunch of slow-paced games. That's all I remember. These games are more exciting, more scoring. It's more skill, so that's why it's more appealed now. To sit here and pretend like the game isn't better now is insane. And one thing I got to say is, Travis, lay off the whiskey. Some of your takes last night on FYF was crazy. You had me dying over there with your drunk ass.
Damn. Not my
When he
proudest moment.
called Lamont a son of a bitch when he said when LeBron, he said, he's like, I got LeBron number
Travis,
2 until he retired.
Yesterday, Travis, you had
Travis
I got
was
LeBron
Travis
number
was
2
wild.
until he retired. Travis was like, "You son of a bitch!" I started dying, bro.
Yeah, y'all might have to clip that one. Y'all might have to clip what Travis was last night.
crying yesterday. He showed the liquor like, look, he got the liquor right here.
Back to the topic.
To be
Back to the
honest,
topic.
Lamont was schooling my ass.
He was. And that other dude that was talking about Kobe, he had to be high. That other dude that was Justin or something, he had to be drunk.
You think I'm a bad Kobe guy? That guy was on another planet as far as...
Back to the topic. I'm done with the 90s movements is so effective because people are going back, they're looking at it, and they're seeing that shit is trash. Role players are better today. Superstars are better today. The big man position is better today. Every position of basketball is better today. The only thing that is
who's going back though? Who's going back though? Who's going back? Are they going back? The old heads, the ones who boost the 90s? Or is it the real NBA fans who stay and watch the game stay, which is the young people, the people who really appreciate the game?
Real NBA fans going back.
It's these young people who don't like to go outside, who like to be on the computer all day. These are the ones going back. It was easy for me to sit here and say the 90s wasn't the best era of basketball because I watched it. I remember it. I have my nostalgia for it. I do miss, some of the back to the basket stuff. But at the end of the day, I can't sit here and say that 90s basketball is better than today. A lot of those players would come today and get cooked. I love Patrick Ewing. I would hate to see what the big man would do to Patrick Ewing today because you can't be you're not about to throw elbows and be fighting and knocking people over. I'm a Knicks fan. In the 90s, you know what I used to call the Knicks? The Rikers Island Knicks. Because the only thing they used to do with Anthony Mason, Charles Oakley, and Patrick Ewing was beat motherfuckers up.
Don't forget about Charles Smith.
Yeah, Charles Smith had Hubert Davis coming in.
Xavier Daniels, all of those guys with thugs.
Charles Smith choking out his coach before he came to the Knicks. He was the perfect fit. That's what I'm saying. That's what I remember for the 90s. A bunch of fighting. But they call that defense. You see what I'm saying? So that's the only difference between the 2000s and everything else is the physicality. That's not basketball. And that's what I always keep trying to tell people. Y'all miss the physicality of the game. And y'all try to market that shit as basketball. No, what these players are doing right now is basketball. Playing defense without fouling and knocking somebody out the air is basketball. Sitting here pretending like Jordan was the only athletic motherfucker back then is crazy because you still had Dominique. You still had people like Kenny Johnson. You still had Clyde Drexler. There was plenty of athletic people. Jordan was just the most marketable.
Twin man,
so let's not pretend.
The biggest problem is you didn't get to see everybody like that back then. See,
Exactly.
I'm from Chicago. I got to see Jordan all the time. So when I speak about Jordan, it's different because I saw him all the time. But when you get to speak to people from Atlanta, they saw Dominique. You didn't see other players like that back then because NBA wasn't national like that with all the games you could see maybe 7 days a week like you can now.
Most of them 90s players would be out on suspension for half the shit they did off the court. Let's be real here. In this social media era, half the players in the 90s would be out for suspension for some shit. Y'all think Ja's bad? Can you imagine what Charles Barkley was doing in the 90s off camera? Can you imagine what a lot of these players was doing off camera? That everybody got a smartphone now, can see you? As we sit here saying they would dominate this era, they wouldn't be able to play because they'd be serving suspensions.
You know, hey, Twin Man, talk about Charles Barkley. You know, when Charles Barkley threw that man through the window, when he went to court, they asked him, does he regret anything? And his words was, his quote was, I regret we was on the first floor. So, so that lets you know how different it was back then. Again, yeah, it's definitely different. The 90s is different. Yeah, the first floor, man. Yeah, man. Charles Barkley is that dude. But again, he don't watch the games. Just like the rest of you fools who claim the 90s and everything's the better. Y'all don't watch the games, man. But y'all definitely watching GOAT James Kingdom on a Sunday afternoon. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button.
The crazy part about the whole Inside the NBA show, they show them sleeping while the game is on, and then they show them talking about the game. And then you want us to believe what they say. They show you see them sleeping.
It's all entertainment. It's all entertainment, man.
The only reason they have them up there is because of their personalities. They don't actually know basketball, like Shaq, and like they go at it from a player's perspective, but they say the most generalized takes, and sometimes they're just bad or wrong. And like you said, they're lazy. They really don't have an interest. Like if you guys were on the panel or on that show or whatever, like they'd ask you a question, but they'd have to cut you guys off because you would actually break down the game. But like I said, you guys weren't like these former players, so it's like I like it. I think it's funny, but you don't get real insight from them.
You don't notice that the real insight comes when they have like Candace Parker on and Jamal Crawford on a Tuesday. That's when
other players are those guys.
Yeah, and they don't put Shaq and Barkley with them because they'll get embarrassed talking basketball with them. Like that one time, like that one time Shaq was talking about how he can guard people in the perimeter. They were like, Shaq, they would dog you in there.
Candace Parker and Wade was all on top of Shaq, slow ass. Like, I stopped watching them a while ago because they're supposed to be the NBA legends who promote the game, and all they do is put down the game today. Everyone's soft, everyone's this, everyone's that. When I played this, nobody want to hear that. Like, let's talk about the game that's going on.
It's the circle of life. 20 years from now, they gonna be saying this. Back in LeBron James' era, they was much better.
It's fine to say that. It's fine to say that, but when we're watching games of players today, we just talk about the game. We don't want to care about what you think. Oh, that's soft. That's soft. This player's soft. Like, let's just talk about the game.
It's everybody's done. It's a circle of life. Y'all gonna get y'all chance 20 years from now.
I don't think they do that in football.
It's not right.
Football.
It's not right, but it's gonna happen. Like,
shout out Will Service got the work in the chat.
There has been a concerted effort by former players who played in the 90s to downplay this era. Period. There's been a concerted effort for probably about 15 years now to downplay this era.
It's all about the
to say this era.
Some of them 90s players played against.
Come on, Craig.
I mean,
no
players played against these players today.
It was 2022 and Vince Carter. So a lot of.
But you want to know who broke? You want to know who broke the cycle of downplaying this era? Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert Arenas was the first one to give credit and sat here and started telling people that they were crazy, saying that these 90s players would come here and dominate today. Because he did it with basic logic. The average weight of a player back then was 215 pounds. And that was at like the guard spot, even at some of the forward positions. Some of these dudes are just as tall and weigh 260, 270, and you think they're coming here and they're going to do something against these players? He had to break it down for them.
But
so the person who
it wasn't even 215, bro. It wasn't even 215.
It could be a double-edged sword. You can literally say, because of the nutrition, how things are, that if they was privy to the same nutrition and regimen, they can be at that weight. The same way you could say back then they didn't have that stuff, so they probably would be whatever weight, the average weight of that
If
time. It
you're a
all goes
professional,
with the time. Like the
but if
rules,
you're a
like I say,
professional,
they changed the rules for Jordan to win. What they do with the flagrant fouls, they change the rules for everybody. The rules changes make you play the
they
game
change the
different.
rules not to be able to dominate.
No, I like what Craig just said is that they changed the rules, but that's what I dislike. Don't say the NBA is soft. Say the NBA has changed the rules to make the game like this. Don't say the players are soft. Say, hey, guess what? The NBA has taken some of this stuff out the game that is no longer like that. So I agree with you, Craig, that they have changed the rules, but that's the explanation for some of the things that you see now that you didn't see in the 90s.
Yeah, I think the game really. I mean, you can say that maybe the game was very, very similar to like it had a stagnant period from '93 to hell up until like even what 2011, 2012, where it was very, very. It was a lot slower. There was a lot of emphasis more on defense and like half court sets, and then obviously you saw the Steph Curry kind of knew his prime. The Warriors kind of instituted that style of play where it was much more spread out, a lot more emphasis on taking higher volume threes and being efficient that way. And I think that was good because I mean it changed the game a lot because now you see that mantra adopted in a lot of ways. I think it's like more of an outside in game, and it makes for a lot faster, much more exciting game. Like you said, a lot of more players, especially on the bench. I think I do agree that a lot of players coming in, they're more skilled at shooting overall because obviously I think that since it's emphasized, they practice that a lot more, so they do have that, and obviously the heightened athleticism. And so I don't think it's soft by any means, and I think it's a much faster, more exciting product than it used to be. I do think there was a lot of '90s players though, like we saw, their skill would translate today. But I'm not foolish enough to say, hey, everyone from the '70s, '80s, and '90s, you just drop them here, they dominate, because that's just not how it would work. But I mean, you have things you could juxtapose, but I think the game is at a great spot right now. I'm definitely not going to be one of those guys who trashes it because, like I said, it's everything with context, and I think it's a great product to watch, especially for this generation.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
It's just
that's true.
too
That's
accessible
true.
now. That's what it is. They're not watching it because you can watch it anywhere. So people don't want to watch it because you can put it on your computer, your mobile. You can watch it in your car on a satellite. So
Nah,
it's
'cause
just like it's one of those you can watch it, but you just don't because you have more access to it. The more you have
Nah.
access to things, you don't really.
Well, this is one thing that's good about this thing is
it's
that
easier. It's easier to
Yeah.
make up shit than to actually sit there and watch the game and appreciate the game. Let's let Ace 30 land his last take so we can let Ishmael up. Again, y'all, we are the
Y'all
GOAT
gotta-
James Kingdom platform.
It's just-
Go ahead. Huh?
I'm dipping. Remember what I?
Oh, yes, yeah. Y'all know who Craig King is. Thanks, Craig, man. You enjoy your Sunday,
Craig.
brother,
Thanks
man.
for
See
coming
you
on,
next
Craig.
Out
Sunday.
there, Craig.
much more
Craig, Travis, where's your coffee?
Craig left Travis by himself
Right
to
here,
handle
man.
to handle all of us by himself. Pause. So again, y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Don't be afraid to become a member of the channel. We are the GOAT James Kingdom platform. It is Sunday noon Eastern time. We doing what we do best. So what you have for us, 30, so we can let Ishmael up, please?
Two things that's most underrated. Like a lot of these guys, a lot of these, especially '90s guys, that's quote unquote against analytics. It was pioneered in the '90s with Jerry Krause. You know the guy that built the team around Jordan to help him win 6 championships. That guy that got booed. That people booed his wife for no strange reason, only other than their strange connection to Michael Jordan. So that guy, because a lot of people know the owner. I forgot his name now, but he's still owner of the Sox and the Bulls. He
Right.
primarily prioritized. Yeah, he primarily
Reinsdorf.
prioritized.
Reinsdorf.
Yeah, Reinsdorf.
Yeah.
Reinsdorf primarily prioritized baseball. So that's what he got Jerry Krause. Jerry Krause was the manager for baseball. He transmitted that some of his techniques and the way he scouts to the NBA. That's why he was bigging up Tony Kuchar. That's why he was very high on Pippen and versatile players of that time because he understood the evolution of the game, what it needs to be. A lot of things are predicated and understanding that we need a guy like Tex and Phil to implement the triangle, which is a basic motion heavy offense that we can revolutionize the game. And that impact in particular gets slept on a lot, primarily due to the propaganda of Jordan. Apparently, Jerry Krause is only the guy who looks like Penguin that broke up the Bulls dynasty. He didn't side with Jordan. Like apparently he just hated on Jordan like out of nowhere. Now, thanks for Johnny for giving the context of it started in the early '80s how Jerry Krause spoke about him in the press, and I caught that article. But at the same time, I couldn't find anything in regards to what he did to a detriment for him to receive this level of negativity.
Nah.
Yeah,
It's about loving Jordan.
Jordan.
It's about
It's
loving
Jordan.
Jordan.
It's Jordan. That's what
It's
Jordan
about
did.
loving
Jordan
Jordan. Yep.
Like,
discredited him all that,
Yeah.
and they booed him, deceased Jerry Krause, with his wife there. Like that's just how it is. Like,
Yeah, that was
Dandy.
disgusting.
Yeah, that was
yeah.
dandy.
That was
So we got Ishmael here. We know Ishmael's been done with the '90s. We know he don't. He does not. He does not want to. He does not want to hear it anymore because again, he is a young man. I think you said you were 29, correct?
Yeah,
So
I'm not.
yeah,
I don't think
yes.
I'm that young, but a lot of
Spring
people think
chicken,
I'm
man.
younger than what
Good
I
thing.
appear to be.
Yeah, shout out to A Weezy Bang and the Bang Sports and Entertainment. Y'all make sure to check out A Weezy, as y'all know he's been going in on everybody who's hate on LeBron as well. Shout out to you, brother. Appreciate you. So what you got, man? You see we had Mike Peak on Ishmael. What do you
Yeah,
think
we
of Mike
done
Peak?
with the '90s, man. I mean, yeah, I started watching some of his videos as he became more viral with his clips. They're really hilarious. He goes back to I saw a clip where he was talking about the Boston Celtics in the '80s. Only had like 5 players playing or something like that at once. I just couldn't stop laughing, but. Yeah, he's
funny.
hilarious. He
He's
really is
hilarious, man. He's
But
hilarious, man.
the interview, yeah, like Sturdy said, it didn't really make me change my perspective on it. I think it just adds more understanding of like the difference, the evolution when it comes to like basketball and how it's changed the culture of it. Like it's changed like drastically. Like it's a big difference. But I would just say that I think that what is good that people it brings good to the understanding of basketball on how it's just been glorified way too much to make it seem like, oh, it's the golden age of basketball and basketball is different, because when we watch these videos, as we've been told, that they use more fundamentals, I really don't see how it was more physical. Really, I think physicality has changed differently in basketball today, or how that it's softer now, but they were getting more foul calls back then, and just a bunch of stuff that really doesn't just saying things without context. And like you guys saying, even today's NBA commentators like Shaquille O'Neal or Kenny the Jet Smith. I mean, Kenny the Jet Smith keeps saying the same stuff, like hand checking really made that much of a difference back when Jordan or Isaiah Thomas was playing, but we know that really didn't make much of a difference. And especially when hand checking was really called aggressively in Michael Jordan's favor. And so I'm just saying that, like, yeah, we done with the '90s. I think that it was good. I wouldn't even say it was really a good product. It was really mostly about Michael Jordan, because, like you guys said, that when Michael Jordan left, they were really trying to see how they will get their ratings to be good because he left. And when he left, it wasn't as good, and it made the product seem really bad. And all that stuff with how they had to change the rules is completely different from what people like to make it seem like David Stern was just trying to increase scoring, so he made the rules easier. I really don't see that. That's not true. That's not factual whatsoever. You know what I mean? And so I'm just going to stop right there, and
But
I'm not trying to take over.
I think you just gave us some. You gave us some great takes there. But I think you just gave me something with this. Because now that I'm thinking about this, why are we saying the ratings were down? Nobody was watching the NBA. No one was watching the NBA before Michael Jordan. So we can't use Michael Jordan as the guy who created all of these casual basketball fans as a catalyst to whether the league is successful or not. Because before him, nobody was really watching. So while he was gone during that 90 span, I guess this is what y'all saying, for those 2 years he was gone, the league was going downhill. But the league was going downhill in general, even while Jordan was there. It just got a boost while Jordan showed up compared to him not being there. But the league has always had trouble with viewership, especially during the 80s. And Jordan was, yes, the catalyst to help the league grow, right? You get a big contract with NBC in the 90s. You get a big contract with ESPN in the 2000s. Now you got a bigger contract now coming up. Again, I think the attendance in the NBA reached a record high last year, and I think it's going to break the record again as far as the most attendance for games. So the league is always trying to grow and do the best thing. So I don't think Michael Jordan even did the league a favor by bringing all those casuals, because now all those casuals think they know basketball because they started watching when Michael Jordan was playing. And they didn't know about nothing prior to that. You see what I'm saying?
I mean, the thing is, like, nobody was watching the other players. They was just watching Jordan. Like, when we always see the highest rating games, it's no other games. It's just Michael Jordan games. Like, they have this false sense of the 90s was so much better because they had better players. But in reality, only people was watching Michael Jordan play basketball. They weren't watching Charlotte. They wasn't watching the Pistons. They wasn't watching any other team, but maybe the Knicks, the Lakers, maybe. But majority of it was
90s. What you gonna watch the Lakers in the 90s?
But majority of it was the Bulls. The majority of it was the Bulls when Jordan was playing.
Yeah, people weren't watching Utah games. People were not watching Golden State games. You wasn't watching Sacramento games. Still, they don't even watch Sacramento games to this day. So,
speaking of Utah, going back and watching John Stockton, man, this guy is definitely not top 5. Bro. I don't get it.
30, you are really a hater, bro.
What you mean, twin? I'm not a hater, bro. I'm saying we're talking about the 90s. I thought we done with the 90s. You mentioned Utah. John Stockton.
I find it flattering to me as fuck, because that means I proved my case that John Stockton's top 5. That's why he has to mention it all the time, because he knows John Stockton's top 5.
Hey, John, it's just like Jordan. It's an allure. It's an aura around him that you just won't let it go.
Not for me.
You gotta let it go, brother.
Not for me. Not for me. No, it's not. Not for me. But what I see what a point guard does, that man is there. I know
John, you know, I was the biggest John Stockton hater for like a few years, and I had to change my whole point on John Stockton. He's overrated. He shouldn't have been on the dream team, all this and that. And you know, listen to Jason Kidd and Gary Payton. Yeah, listen to Jason Kidd and like Gary Payton break down how great John Stockton was. I had to take a step back from my John Stockton.
And the numbers they are there. His numbers are there. The man averages a double for his career. He averages over 2 years.
But Johnny,
bet on a dream over Isaiah Thomas.
No,
Let's be real.
It's primarily the Isaiah not being on the dream team as opposed to John Stockton making the dream team. But
why you gotta kick Stockton off? You gotta kick the other white boy off.
No, because the way the committee was picking players, they was picking it by position. So they was literally
you don't need Leitner.
Leitner wasn't on the dream team.
Leitner and I didn't like
Isaiah was there because
answer.
Jordan. Don't blame Stockton for Jordan not letting Isaiah.
No, I'm not blaming Stockton. I'm just saying the more the narrative is more so why Isaiah didn't make the team.
Who's your top 5 point guards?
Oh, okay, glad you asked. Jerry West, because he's the point guard. I don't know why. I'm not gonna let old heads lie to me about who Jerry West was as a player. He was a point guard. Majority of these years he played as a point guard. Majority of his best production came as a point guard. When I go back and watch the games, he's doing modern point guard things. He's setting up the offense, facilitating. He's just scoring a lot. There's nothing wrong with that. You got obviously Magic. You got Oscar Robertson, another scoring point guard that people don't deny that's a point guard. We also have Isaiah Thomas, and you also have Jason Kidd. No, my fault. No. Take Jason Kidd out. Steph Curry. There we go. Because he's also a point guard.
So no Chris Paul.
I get my top 5.
Chris Paul is better than Chris Paul is better than Stockton. Yes.
Chris Paul is better than Stockton. Is John Stockton top 10 point guard?
He's definitely a top 10 point guard. He's on the same tiers, in my opinion. He's on the same tier as Russell Westbrook.
Oh my God! I'm done.
Hold on, Johnny. Hey, Johnny, what's wrong with Russell Westbrook? Russell Westbrook is an all-time great player. What are you talking? You want to talk about production?
I know that. I know. I got you. I'm not gonna say that, but man.
Wait, Billy, what you said? You said the MVP, right? Yeah, compared to John Stockton, who was the highest voted for MVP he ever got was 7 in 1988. Barely made top 10.
Nobody watched Utah games.
Oh, that's the reason why he gets. That's what. Yes, but Karl Malone only get 2 MVPs.
Yeah, I know. And when they were watching Karl Malone instead of Stockton.
Because he was a better player. Exactly.
Who was watching OKC?
John Stockton is number one all time in assists.
Oh,
though.
we
That
were
gotta
watching
count.
Westbrook.
That's a
Westbrook's
fact.
star.
He's number one of all time in assists. He's number one in
Westbrook's a star.
steals.
Yeah.
But Ishmael, with all that being said, is he consensus regarded as the best passer of all time?
Yes, his assistant.
Yeah.
No. I didn't say greatest. I said, is he regarded, I don't know, consensus wise, as the best passer of all time?
No, not consensus wise. No, because they say consider
No.
Magic.
Oh, who was that? Who was that, Johnny? Who was that, Johnny?
Magic.
Yeah.
Oh, a better player. Okay. So we all
Yeah, a
understand.
better player, not a better point guard.
No, but Ishmael and hey Johnny, especially from experience of listening to Go Jay's Kingdom, we all know yes, totals are important, but we all know it's not just the totals. It's not just what you do in terms of totality. It's also your level of impact. Go ahead.
But hold up.
Impact. The man make the playoff every year he played in the NBA. What are you talking about?
Speaking of playoffs, thank you, Johnny.
Where do you have John Stockton at in top 5? Like what number?
What
Who, me?
as far as point guards?
Yeah, like where is he at?
He's number 3. I got number 3.
Number 3.
Up front of what?
Who's the first two?
Magic Johnson and Oscar.
Nah, bro.
So you put John Stockton above Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, I had to reevaluate. I had Isaiah Thomas a lot, but a lot of it's just nostalgia. He has one of the worst nostalgias in NBA history, yo. Y'all talking about someone who never won an MVP. When did Isaiah Thomas beat anything in MVP category?
Exactly.
When has Isaiah Thomas led the league in assists?
I got you. Oh no, he actually did. So don't disrespect.
He did? I don't know because Magic was because.
Here we go. Unlike Stockton, he finished top 5 MVP voting in 83, 84, and top 10 4 times.
He was top 10 4 times. Four
I
times?
like my top 5 then. For
Nah, he's not in my top 5 because I got CP3
Yeah,
after Stockton, and then I got Jason Kidd.
in steals in 1985. I mean assists in 1985.
Okay,
Assists
one
in
time?
1985.
Just one time. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so that gives a good. He's in my top 10 though, but I got Chris Paul and Jason Kidd in front of him as well.
How's he above Jerry West?
Because I don't consider Jerry West to be a point guard.
What?
Yeah, just like Stephen Curry, they're shooting guards to me.
Yeah.
What? But they played point guard. Especially Steph Curry. He literally played point guard his entire career.
Yeah, I know. I know that, but their play style is still.
That's how pretty subjective. That's all subjective, Johnny.
You didn't ask me to be objective. I'm not being objective when we talk about positional. Position is different.
When you say,
I think Steph Curry should be categorized like Allen Iverson is. They're both shooting guards.
That's what I say. Same thing with West. West just could handle the ball very well, just like the rest of them. But he still.
Wait, so West wasn't a facilitator? He wasn't a playmaker?
He was. But he shared duties with other guards and things of that nature. But he was more of a shooter than a passer. He was definitely one of the greatest scorers of all time. He finished with 27,000 points. That was like top 5 when he retired.
27 points per game.
You're gonna say someone's overrated. I would say that John Stockton has more valuable than Allen Iverson, if anything.
Wow.
In my opinion.
That's a stretch. That's a stretch.
Allen Iverson shot 26 shots in the playoffs and scored 29 points. That's terrible. That is awful.
Yeah, Jerry West averaged 6.7 assists per game. That would make him a combo guard. I mean, I wouldn't. He still wouldn't be top 5. Yeah, he wouldn't be top 5 as a point guard though. He would be top 10 as well if I had to put.
Hey, John, if you also let the people know how many years Jerry West played, and how many years was he listed as a point guard? Let people know.
He was a point guard listed for. He played 14 NBA seasons, and he was listed as a point guard 11 of them.
Oh.
Yeah, he was. Wait. He was top 5 MVP. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times.
8 more than Stockton. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. In a league with less teams, obviously there's less competition for who you have to be MVP.
And also other all-time great players he competed against, like Oscar, like Bill, like Will.
Stockton was in an era where they were giving Michael Jordan MVPs, and he was playing 17 games.
They also gave his teammate, the better player, MVPs too.
Yeah, I know. But this guy had Elgin Baylor throughout his career, and also played on a great team with the Lakers as Jerry West. But again, I just don't consider Jerry West a point guard.
Would you say John Stockton was the best point guard in the 90s? Sturdy?
The best? Okay,
Yes.
when you
Mhm.
when there's a difference, I think he's the greatest, but best to me, I put it more as peak. I don't think at his best in the '90s he was better than the best version of Penny Hardaway. I don't think the best version of him. I think he was on the
No,
same
we're
combo
talking
level
about
as
all
GP.
time. We're talking about all. I'm talking about all time in the era.
You
Who
talking
was
about
the
so
best?
greatest?
The
I
greatest.
just said it.
Whatever.
I just said I separate greatest and best. So he's the greatest point guard in the '90s, but in terms of best, my criteria for best is production and impact, playoff translation at your peak.
Okay, I got you, Peak. So if
You
you
said
think, wait,
playoff translation? No.
Oh yes,
Okay.
Oh
sir.
my God,
Hold
playoff
on. Hey
translation.
Johnny, you coming across? Hold on, you coming across the actual student of the game? Ain't no TikTok in here, brother. When I
Nah,
say playoff
I don't
translation,
know.
it's how
That
you
sound like
perform in the playoffs. See,
TikTok to
see,
me.
hold,
They about to
no,
ban
hold on.
you.
So hold on. So watch this, Jay Johnny. See, you know how when LeBron get disrespected by being called a loser, which is idiotic because not only has the most playoff wins, also he literally won 4 championships, right?
Uh-huh.
There's some more merit if you can call John Stockton a loser. Despite him making the playoffs every single year of his career, he has a losing record in the playoffs. Despite being on a great supporting cast with a coach like Jerry Sloan and Frank Landon, who actually put him in a system to optimize his style of play, that man has more first round exits than conference finals appearances.
So,
So
I
and
mean,
then
wait. Doesn't
hmm?
Hakeem have the same?
Oh, the winner.
Oh, Hakeem's the winner.
Hey,
That's a fact. That's not an opinion. He literally won.
hey,
Oh,
Sturge,
so
I got
you
a
only be
question.
a win. You're only a winner if you have a championship.
No, at least bare minimum. If you don't
Yeah,
have at least a bare minimum
unless you're
championship,
a
at least have
LeBron
a winning
fan.
record. At least have a winning record in the playoffs.
Because Stockton went to the
At least
finals
have
back to back. He went to the finals back to back.
and
That's
did
not easy
what?
to
And
do.
then lost. When I went back and watched that game 5 when they got smoked
Uh-huh.
by at least 40 points by they didn't score more than 60 points. How did John Stockton look in that game, Johnny?
It's
How you
hard
look in
though
that
when you.
game?
It's hard when you got Scottie Pippen on you. That's what I'm trying to explain. He had the best
Right.
defender in NBA
Oh, he
history.
had Scottie Pippen on the whole game. That's not what the film say.
That's not what the film say. Who was sticking him? It was him or Ron Harper.
They were rotating.
Exactly.
The
And that's
both of 'em. Yeah.
and they were trapping him. And they were trapping him at half court.
How often do you think they were trapping him, John? How often do you think they were trapping the great John Stockton?
To disrupt his rhythm.
In
Enough
moments,
to disrupt his rhythm.
in moments, I can't give you a percentage, but I would say it was less than 10% of the game.
See, that's what I said. When you watch these games, man, it makes a lot of things clear, man. It makes a lot of things clear.
No, you got to mix it up. You can't do it 50% of the time. Eventually, Stockton's gonna break it down. That's what makes Stockton so great. You have to throw different things at him. You have to mix it up. But obviously, we know he's
in the top 5 point guards can adapt to the situation. See, to quote the great Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas, the hardest part about being a point guard, about being a point guard is balancing when to play make and when to score. Sometimes you have to deviate from the offensive scheme to produce enough points in situations. I.e., we seen that from Isaiah Thomas multiple occasions. We seen that from Jerry West multiple occasions. We seen that from Oscar Robertson at a later age of 38 in Game 7, giving the Bullets buckets in key moments in elimination games, resulting in him affecting his team and getting his first championship. Well, of course, for John Stockton in these elimination games, it regressed, brother. Both statistically and on film.
Nah, it didn't regress. You in this
You want the numbers?
translation. Yeah, the numbers are going to show that he played 19 years in the playoffs. So what you want him
and
to do
did
is,
what?
And then what you mean? They went to the finals twice. What are you talking about? They're making the
out of 19 years. I agree.
All right, you brought up his win percentage, right? But if we take away Karl Malone going to the Lakers, he's under 500 as well. You're not calling Karl Malone a loser, are you? Is Karl Malone a loser as well?
Does he have a losing record in the playoffs? Because he didn't win a championship.
No, yeah. He went to LA and it went above 500 because he went to LA.
So he has a winning record. He has a winning record in the playoffs.
Yeah, he has three games above the winning record. He's 98 and 95. And
numbers are numbers, Johnny. You tell me all the time. Hey, I don't fight the numbers. The numbers are there. I don't fight the numbers.
But the 18 years he was in Utah, he was losing with Stockton. That's what I'm saying. He had an under 500. He had to go get Shaq and Kobe to get above 500.
Hence above 500. So yeah, if you want to say John Stockton is a more worse loser in comparison to Karl Malone, I agree with that. Hey, I agree with that.
If you say the greatest point guard of the
30,
90s is
30.
just
Are you on the
overrated,
whiskey
not
today?
top
Are you
five.
on
Oh
the
wait,
whiskey today, brother?
I know Isaiah Thomas thinks that John Stockton's better at point guard than him, so I don't have to go there. But let's go to the playoffs, right? Because you were saying all this stuff. John Stockton led the playoffs in assists 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. Where's this drop off you talking about?
Who said no? I said in key elimination games because you can pull that up too. He does regress from a efficiency standpoint, from a production
elimination
standpoint.
games. Okay.
Oh, the
'cause he
games that
averaged-
matter. Yes.
No. Oh, he said the games that matter.
Yeah.
You been hanging
You're not
with them
elevating like
JDRs.
LeBron. You're not elevating like LeBron.
You've been hanging out with them JDRs too long, right? Because let me see here. Because if we look up, he averages 10 points, basically 9.9, and 10 assists per game, almost 2 steals. This guy's a beast. He shoots 47% from the field, and he shoots. Let me see here. What is his 3-pointer? His 3-pointers go down. So that's what you're talking about. It goes from 38 to 32, and it goes from 51.
I'm just saying, man. When I go back and watch him against Portland Trailblazers, when Terry Porter giving him the business in the Western Conference, when I see Sleepy Floyd give him the work in '87, when I see KJ giving him the business in '90, hey man, even Kenny Smith was doing a good job in the first round in '95. I'm just saying, when I go back and watch these films, man, I'm just saying, bro.
And wait, in 1995, John Stockton averaged 15 points, 10 assists per game, shooting 40% from three-point land and 46 from the field. Where is this Kenny Smith stopping him? Now look, out of all the
I think he stopped him. I did not say that. I think he was giving him the business.
Okay, so let's see here. John Stockton really didn't start till 1988 in the playoffs. So we can't count the first 2 times. Are we going to count the first 2 times he got swept or he lost in the first round in 86 and 87?
Oh, my fault. If I count his total numbers, I got to count every time he made playoffs. Remember, you said yourself, he made playoffs every time in his career. That counts. Just like Kobe counts when he was on the bench and they Lakers made the playoffs. Everything matters.
But when he started, they won. That was the first time winning in the playoffs since he became in the league as a rookie, and he averaged 15 assists per game, shooting 50% from the field, and 12. What's it? Let me see how many points per game he was averaging here. He was averaging 20 points and 15 assists in his first starting playoff run. Then he got swept the next year, averaging 27 and 14, and almost.
Oh, that 3-game sample size. Yeah, I know that. I know that 3-game series. I know that.
What? But you want to?
Just like last 3 when they were saying, "Oh, Jordan averaged 40 on what 3-game stretch?" I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, but then the next year he goes to a game 5, so he averages 15 and 15. So obviously him scoring doesn't help his team. His assists. I mean, the man led man, this guy's great, man. I'm looking at all these numbers.
Hey, he's great. I didn't say he wasn't. I'm just saying he's not top 5.
Right. Let me just. He's top 5 for sure. You just gave me more numbers.
His scoring would have helped the team.
You just gave me more numbers.
Do you have
but real talk. But honestly, real talk. The thing is, hey Johnny, on top of him not being able to find that balance, in which I give you a bonus of point guards who found that balance of when to be aggressive and scoring when they team needed to do it most. But also watching how Jerry Sloan switched up his offensive scheme kind of lowered the chances of the Utah Jazz. Like before in the late
having Stockton though. That's the whole point.
No.
He can run whatever he wants to run.
Let me finish. When in the early '90s part, right? In the early '90s, late '80s, early '90s, the Utah Jazz were actually more of an up and down team. Even when the game slowed down the offense, they were actually having more action on the weak side. It wasn't just running empty sets. But then for some reason, Jerry Sloan, as the years went on in the mid to late '90s, he made the team slow down, and then instead of running a more fluid offense, they was running more empty sets. And it was the reason why they kept losing to superior defensive teams in the playoffs, because now their offense became more predictable.
Yeah, because the mailman can't deliver on a Sunday afternoon. He bricks a free throw, and that's a problem right there. So we got John Stockton. My bad. He averaged 14 points per game. It's actually 13 points per game in the playoffs. I was wrong. It's not 10. So he averaged 14 and 11 for his prime years between 88 and 2002. Where he led the playoffs 11 times in assists.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. He's still top 5.
So Stockton's going to give you 80. He played 82 games 16 times. That's insane. So you want the availability. He's going to be there. Stockton, I don't care. Like if some of your criteria for ranking is how they were performing scoring wise in elimination games, that's fair. But I mean, if you ask me what I want a point guard, give me the guy who's going to run your offense to perfection. Give me 15 points on 51% shooting.
Yeah,
14
that's the
assists.
thing. That's the thing.
Give me
Perfect.
Stockton.
I'm not going to go against your
Over
preference. But
Isaiah,
here's the
over
thing.
zesty Isaiah.
Majority of all time great.
Isaiah, always kissing and hugging. Zesty Isaiah, who always emotional.
Hey, John
crying
Stockton
about
racist.
Michael Jordan.
We do this too.
We don't
John
want
Stockton
no
racist. We can do this
zesty
too.
Isaiah.
You can do this too. But hold on. But the thing is, what T Perfect said though, right? The problem with that, the logic T Perfect is that majority of the top 10 point guards can orchestrate the offense. Majority of all time great point guards are good to great playmakers already. I get you, the availability is there, but like I said, when we click hairs, that's how in Go James Kingdom in every GOAT conversation, when you differentiate from others, there's certain things that put guys above the other. Even though he was available, he was simply as impactful as the guys that I rate ahead of him at his position all time. He was nowhere near the impactful as Jerry West. He wasn't as impactful as Oscar Robertson. He wasn't as impactful as
his VORP says it. His VORP says he is. That tells you how much impact he was.
Oh yeah, he's 4 time in volume replacement, but that's not the end all be all.
No, it's not. I know it's not, but that just shows you how impactful he was as a player in general, right? And then when you really look at it, he has a great true shooting, so that means he's an efficient scorer. The problem that people have with Stockton is that they want him to be a 20-point per game scorer. He doesn't have to be that. He's somebody that's only taking 10 shots per game because he's always going to be within the system of his offense because he's doing what a true point guard is supposed to do.
Johnny, you don't think that hurt them at times? You don't think that?
So wait, Isaiah Thomas? Yeah,
you don't think that hurt them at times because they had no one who can get the ball to the basket one-on-one? You don't think that hurt Utah at all? Because I actually think
it hurt Utah because of the 90s. Because
I'm talking about the 90s.
Yeah, it hurt it because of the 90s because they decided that basketball was better by letting the stars be stars. Who's a bigger star, John Stockton or Karl Malone? John Stockton was walking around on the Olympic team. Nobody even knew he was on the Olympic team in 92. Legitimately, that's what they were doing. Give the ball to Karl Malone. That's what he was doing. I'm gonna give it to Karl.
But the thing is, Johnny,
we're gonna let zesty Karl Malone with his Jerry curl drip juice perm juice hand back up 100 times.
Yeah, the ball hit.
Pass the ball back and forth and waste 24 seconds of the shot clock for him to throw up some big trash, hot garbage. That's what happened. While Stockton was hitting the crucial threes to get them to the finals, right?
What he did in the finals.
Like what Brandon called what to do? The Adam Keefe, Ostertag, Russell. What's the other dudes that played on those teams? What was Shannon Anderson? All these guys. Come on, man. They were all getting off because Stockton was getting. You know what I'm saying? Like that was Stockton's job.
Yeah, great point guards have to do both, Johnny. Like I said, Isaiah Thomas. Let me finish. No, that's not true. Isaiah Thomas was orchestrating the offense, but when his team needed him to score, he did so. Same thing for Oscar Robertson, and especially at the age of 38 with the Bucks. When his team needed him to score, he did so. Same thing for Jerry West. When the team needed to score, he did so. Same thing for Steph Curry. Even Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson, a guy who never led his team in points in a single playoff run, he understood the situations. I need to be more aggressive scorer.
You are misleading us about Isaiah Thomas's career because the reason he even was going far wasn't because he was scoring. His early years when he was the real scorer of his team, they would get knocked out early in the playoffs. But it wasn't
because the defense was trash.
No, until they got Dantley and they got Aguirre and then they added what's it called? What's the other guy's name? Vinny Johnson. They added all these players to help him scoring because he was averaging 19 points, 20 points per game, and he wasn't giving you no 15 assists. He wasn't giving you no 13 assists.
All right, Johnny. So, who's better in the regular season, Stockton or Isaiah Thomas?
In the regular season, I'm still going with Stockton.
Okay, in the postseason, who's better, Isaiah Thomas or Stockton?
Stockton.
How?
I'm going with Stockton because he
averaged. How? Explain how.
Because he averages a double plus 2 steals a game in the playoffs. He's efficient. He's a point guard. We're talking about point guard now. We're not talking about being a player. We're talking about being a point guard. As a point guard.
Who's a better player in the postseason, Isaiah Thomas or John Stockton?
This question was player, not point guard.
Man, you guys are really making the 90s really overrated now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, man.
It's pretty simple. Okay.
No, it's not simple. How is it simple? Why is Isaiah
All right,
Thomas?
all right. Travis, who's the better player in the postseason? John Stockton or Isaiah Thomas?
I mean, like, what's your metric for using? I mean, I go with John Stockton all day because he was.
Okay, all right. You go for John Stockton. Okay, John. Who
was better
you got in the
Isaiah
playoffs?
Thomas. Isaiah Thomas in the playoffs.
Okay, Sturdy got Isaiah Thomas in the playoffs. Twin man, who you got in the playoffs?
It's a hard one, but I'm gonna go with the true point guard. I'm gonna go with Stockton.
All right,
Thank
this
you.
way. Who you got in the playoffs? Isaiah Thomas or John Stockton? Mm-hmm.
Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, I don't even know how is it even a
I don't even
question.
know why this is.
Someone would
Here we
pick
go.
John
Oh, wait.
Stockton.
Here we go.
Who the
Here we
hell
go.
would pick John Stockton in the playoffs over Isaiah Thomas?
Listen, here we go. Isaiah Thomas, like we said, he made the first playoff in 1984. He was averaging 21.
Isaiah Thomas could win titles by putting his team on his back.
He can win
By
titles
putting his
because
team on his back.
he didn't start winning none of that, putting the team on his back until he
I
got
don't care
Danley.
when he started
Until
winning.
got-
He won when he
They
put his
didn't
team
win. They
on
didn't
his
win with
back.
Danley. He
Did
didn't
he
win with
say he
Danley.
could start winning? Did he use
I
that?
He didn't even win with Danley.
What that person mean? He's supposed to win every year. He put his team on his back and he won multiple titles.
Brennan.
John Stockton couldn't
No,
do
he
that.
didn't.
Isaiah Thomas's playoff stats when he was winning rings was nowhere near what he was doing when he was losing the playoffs before that in '89, '90.
Because that's what you have to do when you have more help.
That's
You don't
exactly-
produce the same amount.
No.
That's
In
what I'm
1989,
saying.
in 1989, Stockton averaged against. Not Stockton. Isaiah Thomas against Boston averaged 12-9. Against Milwaukee, the next series it was 16-9. Then against Chicago, which is the only team he used to ball against, and that's why he's getting praised because he used to make Michael Jordan look like a fool. He went to averaging 21-8. And then he goes into the finals, and that's when they win. And that's when he won his finals MVP. He was 21-7. So
Okay.
You said he got better at
Let's
the
look at
playoffs.
a year.
Exactly, Key John.
No, it's not better. He started scoring more. Doesn't mean he's better because his assists went down. He stopped passing.
That's not what the film say. That's not what the film say.
Let's look
That's
at
what the film
it.
shows.
He shot 39%.
in the
He shot
playoffs.
39%.
Let's just go ahead and pull up that year. Let's go ahead and pull up that year that Stockton averaged 20-10 in the playoffs. Come on, let's go pull up that year.
Yeah,
What
I'm
year
gonna
is
have
that?
to give it to Isaiah.
It
was 3 games. It was 3 games.
Yeah, in the playoffs. Let me go look at that year. They
That
averaged
year's
20 in the
89,
playoffs.
Brennan.
Did he ever
That's
average
89.
Let me see.
The year that he averaged 20-10 in the playoffs, he lost in the first round. And that was only
Oh.
in 1985. He averaged.
It's in 3 games.
No, he played 5 games in 84, averaging 21-11. Then he played in 1985. He got to the second round, so he got past the first round. He averaged 24-11. Then in 1986, he got knocked out in the first round, averaging 26-12. Then the next year, he finally made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, and he averaged 24-9.
Okay.
Oh, you going by series. You going by series.
So I'm
No,
looking
I'm
up
talking about
at
for playoffs. I'm talking about for the playoffs.
No, that's not true. That's not true, Johnny. I'm looking at it right now.
I'm looking at it right
his-
now. Isaiah Thomas for
Yes,
the
for his
playoffs.
playoffs. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about John Stockton.
I'm talking
Okay,
about. Isaiah
I'm
Thomas.
looking at John Stockton. He averaged 27-13 in 3 games. So
That's it.
that's a first round sweep. So I'm looking at another time he averaged 19 and 14. That was in 11 games in 1988. All right,
Yes.
so I'm looking at the year that John Stockton put his team on his back and won a title like Isaiah Thomas did. I don't see
What do you
one
want
of
him to
those
do,
years.
man?
I don't see Isaiah
Thompson
putting
What I
his
want him
team
to
on his
do,
back.
I want him to show that he's better than Isaiah Thomas by putting his team on his back and winning the title. That's what I want him to do.
18 and 8
so
is
why
your
is
team
it
on
Not
your
do
back?
that. Since he cannot do that, I'm going to
I
pick
can't
Isaiah
do
Thomas
that.
over
I can't do
Stockton in
that
the playoffs.
because Isaiah
When?
Thomas only averaged 19-8 the year that he won a championship, which was not better than the years prior to that. Again, he won championships because of the team he had and because Michael Jordan choked against him for 3 straight years.
Let's look at the year
Show me John Stockton
1908.
throwing away a game like in 1987. Show me that. Or 1988.
Show you 19 years of John Stockton not winning a title, but I'm going to look at that.
That has nothing to do with it. That has nothing to do with it. He actually
That has nothing with doing being better in the playoffs.
so now you
Being
want to use
able to lead your team
championships.
to a title.
Now, leading your team again, he didn't lead his team to a title. He had
He wasn't
help.
capable of doing it. He wasn't capable of doing it. That's the
He didn't
problem.
have
Isaiah
the Detroit
Thomas was
Pistons
capable
teams.
of doing it. He had Karl Malone.
Because Jordan shut him down.
He
That's
said-
why.
He had Karl Malone. Which player on the Pistons was better than Karl Malone? Name one.
Again, he had a better team. It's not just Karl Malone. He had a better team. He had an all-around team.
The difference is Isaiah Thomas beat.
No, the Jazz had a great team. Jazz had a great team. It wasn't just
Isaiah Thomas beat Jordan in his prime. John Stockton lost to Jordan when he was declining. That's the difference.
Yeah, he did.
Isaiah Thomas beat Bird, Magic,
So
and
we're gonna leave it at
postseason.
championship. So just again, it's all nostalgia. He won. He led
No
the team to
nostalgia.
championships.
It's no nostalgia.
Yeah, you're right.
Nostalgia. I didn't grow up watching Isaiah Thomas. I go back and watch him.
They played the same era.
I went back and
Talking about
watched.
Nostalgia.
John Stockton did not play in the 2000s.
Huh?
The 2010s and winning.
No,
Like
no,
John
no.
Stockton played in
The
his era.
nostalgic idea that Isaiah Thomas led his team when Joe Dumars won the first Finals MVP and all this other stuff. When it took time, he was losing when he was the best player. He was not the better
John
point
Stockton
guard.
was losing his whole career.
Hey, Johnny.
What are you talking about?
I say this quick. Hey, Johnny. Let me make this clear. The first ring Larry Bird won, Cedric Maxwell won the Finals MVP. Do you believe Cedric Maxwell led that team to the championship?
Yeah, Larry Bird had 8 points 2 games in a row. Who else is going to lead you?
Hey, Johnny, I'm going to repeat the question again. I'm going to ask you a question again. Do you believe Cedric Maxwell led that team to win the championship?
Cedric Maxwell was the leader of that team. Yes, not Larry Bird.
You're
You're gonna say Larry Bird's the leader of the team? Right. You said leader. Now who's the better player? You said who's the leader? Ain't nobody following Ain't nobody in 1981 following a 2-year player coming out of college, my friend. That's the
You know why they did that, Johnny? Because it was rookie year. They went from 20-something wins to 60 wins. You damn right will follow that white boy. He's doing something magical to his team. Like, what are we talking about?
Bro, they won a championship in 1976. They were a championship team in 1976.
Exactly. No, there was a completely different team when they got Bird, Johnny. You know this. That's why they booked him when he was in high school. No, we got dibs on him.
And he had JoJo White and all kind of that's y'all. They had Pistol Pete Maravich. Y'all be
that old ass white dude at that time. Get out of here with that, Johnny. Get out there with that, man.
You asked if he was the leader. I'm gonna say he wasn't the leader.
Like, come on, Pistol Pete wasn't doing nothing that time, bro. Get out of here with that.
So Isaiah Thomas.
That's like mentioning George Gervin when Jordan came in the league. Come on, man.
Isaiah Thomas made the playoffs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times in his 14-year career, 13-year career.
And won 2 titles, Finals MVP.
The 2 titles trump everything else. Okay, that's fine. You're right.
Who's the better?
He's the winner
in the playoffs.
He won in college, not like John Stockton. He won in the league.
We're talking about the playoffs.
He's the winner.
We're not talking about career. He said strictly
Again,
the postseason.
in the playoffs, I see somebody that's giving me 13, 11, and 13, 10, and 2, and your guy's giving me 29 and 2. That your guy shoots worse from the field. Your guy shoots better. Again, John Stockton is a better player.
Playoffs, he averaged 20 and 9 in the playoffs.
Who made more all-defensive selections for their career?
We're talking about the playoffs.
Who has more steals?
We're talking about the playoffs.
I'm talking about the playoffs. I am talking about the playoffs. You don't want to go to that. He has more assists. He has more steals than him in the playoffs. He has all of that.
He averaged 29.
And my guy averaged 13 and 10. No, he did. He said lead. I don't know about lead. I don't know. He won 2 titles, but I don't know about lead.
Yeah, he's the leader of that Detroit.
He had Bill Laimbeer. He had a bunch of
he was the leader. He was the leader.
Everybody
knows Isaiah Thomas the leader.
I'm sorry, but John, I want to see if you're consistent, brother.
Huh?
Who's greater? Who's greater? Harden or Wade?
I already proved Harden is better than Wade.
I say greater.
Wait, what?
I already proved better, whatever, that Harden is better than Dwayne Wade. His career is better. He's a better player than Dwayne Wade. He's a better shooting guard for sure.
This man's saying that with a Heat jersey on right now.
No,
see, there you go. How? Now you want me to? I don't have to make Dwayne Wade the third best point guard all the time because I'm a Heat fan. I'm smart enough to know Harden is better than Dwayne Wade. I watched Dwayne Wade's career. I watch Harden's career. I see their stats and their numbers in front of me, their accolades and everything. Harden is better than Dwayne Wade, man.
Who you want in the playoffs? Wade or Harden?
I'll take either or.
No, that's not what I asked you, Johnny. Don't do that. Who would you take in the playoffs, Wade or Harden?
I'm a Heat fan, so I'm gonna as a Heat fan I would pick Wade. But if I go look at their numbers, they're comparable, and I would pick Harden. I don't have a problem picking Harden, bro. Harden's the better passer. Harden's the better playmaker. Harden's the better player.
Be consistent. That's all. You consistent. I respect.
From where I'm at right now, Wade grew up right around the corner from where I'm at right now. I'm going with Wade.
I'm going with Wade. He averaged.
I'm going with Wade.
He won a finals when Shaq was averaging 13 points a game.
Hey, there you go. There y'all go again.
With, like,
y'all know
20
how
free
great
throws?
that Heat team. Do you know how great that Heat team was?
Yeah, I know the team, man. Antoine Walker, Udonis Haslem, Jason Williams. I know the team.
No
Gary Payton.
third-year player coming out of college in 2006 is leading no team full of veterans to no championship. That team, that man was lucky he was on that roster with that team. He was lucky
Man.
Kobe ran Shaq out of town. Dwayne Wade was very lucky that happened.
Wait, Johnny, all-time great players can do
he was
that.
very lucky. He was very lucky that LeBron James had no other choice but to join the Miami Heat in 2011. He was
But
very
hey,
lucky.
Johnny, so there's some all-time great players that can lead their team to a chip within their first 2 or 3 years. Tim Duncan did it. Kareem did it. Kareem
Dwayne's
did
not
it.
on that level. Dwayne Wade's not on that level.
Then James Harden.
Bird did it. No, I'm just giving you examples of people that
But
did
he's
it.
not
It's
that
like
guy. He's not that dude. Dwayne Wade is not.
I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he is, but he's definitely all-time great, Johnny. I'm just saying. That's all.
No, I know that. I got Dwayne Wade in my top 20.
James Harden also had the privilege to be playing with the Thunder alongside with Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant and Serge
He did.
Ibaka.
You're right.
And they lost. They lost against Dwayne Wade.
But hey, Johnny, let's see if you keep this up. Let's see if you keep this consistency up. Who's better, Westbrook or Stockton?
No, I already got Stockton ahead of Westbrook.
What? These numbers looking different, hey Johnny. I don't know these numbers.
No. Westbrook, like I said, Westbrook, KD, Harden, CP3 are guys that are clearly knocking into my top 20 all time.
Isn't
No, I'm talking about for John. Compared to John Stockton, for Westbrook, Westbrook has superior numbers.
You don't have KD in your top 20 yet?
Okay, he just reached my top 20.
Isn't Dwayne Wade a much better defender than James Harden? No, I mean he was known as like one of the top guards that's able in block shots, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you just thinking in terms of like offensive impact that James Harden had?
I don't think James Harden's that bad on defense. So you can knock what he does. He's better than Dwayne Wade on the offensive side. He's a better passer, better playmaker, better scorer. He's better than Dwayne Wade on that side of the ball. So that's why it kind of trumps there. Again, it trumps him there. Again, he averages 23 points per game in the playoffs, 6 assists, 5.5 rebounds, almost 2 steals, 1.7 steals per game, shooting 42% because we know he shoots a lot of threes, but he shoots 34% from the three-point land. He shoots 87% from the free throw line. Dwayne Wade in the same span playoffs only averaged 22 points per game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.5 steals. He averaged actually less steals per game. He shoots 47% from the field. They shoot the same from the three-point land, but we know Dwayne Wade doesn't shoot as much as Harden does from the three-point land. And Dwayne Wade shoots 78% from the free throw line. So again, I got Harden over Dwayne Wade. And once I start doing my criteria again and I start grading those guys, you're going to start seeing a little bit better. The Harden's there, man. He has a league MVP. He led the league in scoring, led the league in assists, 7-time All-NBA. I don't know what to tell y'all.
So why isn't Westbrook better than John Stockton with the same logic?
I told you they're about to get knocked in. I haven't graded it in yet. But as far as career-wise, yes. But as far as point guard goes, no. Again, I grade point guards differently than your all-time player ranking.
Okay, so who's a better player in the regular season, Westbrook or Stockton?
No, I think Westbrook is, I think Westbrook is going to jump Stockton on my all-time list. So
no, right now, who's career-wise? Right now, who's a better player in the regular season, John Stockton or Russell Westbrook?
What, Russell?
No, okay. You got.
Russell. Wait, Russell.
You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice.
No. Because Russell got 25,000 points. He got the 9,000 rebounds, 8,000 assists, which is something John Stockton doesn't have. Again, John Stockton doesn't rebound like him. There's a lot of different things. He doesn't score like Russell Westbrook. Just John Stockton was just really, really great as being a point guard. So that's what hinders John Stockton.
So do you have
because John Stockton's like 25th on my list.
Do you have Westbrook at top 5 point guards? But you
Westbrook
do have top 5 point guards.
Westbrook is creeping up. Yeah, as far as point guard goes, I grade you differently. Yeah, Westbrook is creeping up though.
Westbrook is creeping up. You think Westbrook can climb up at this point in his career? You think he's gonna be steady where he's at?
Yeah, he can keep climbing because he still averages 7 assists coming off the bench.
I don't think I can have Westbrook in my top 5 point guards, bro. I don't think I can do it.
I don't know. It's hard because CP3 is still there and Jason Kidd. Right. Like y'all said, y'all got Isaiah Thomas. So those are the guys, but he's right there though. I think he's in my top 7 if I really think about it.
There's two things. I can't take a list serious that doesn't have John Stockton in at least the top 3 for the greatest point guards of all time.
That's
And I
because it's
can't
not a
take a
serious list.
I can't.
You're gonna have a lot of lists. You're gonna have a lot of lists that you don't take serious.
I'm sorry, I just can't. I won't take you serious because
Most
I
don't have
understand you
Stockton
have
top
the
5.
Oscar Robertson,
Most
you
don't have
have the
Stockton
Jerry.
top 5.
Huh?
Most don't have Stockton top 3.
No,
That's what I'm saying. Like, if Stockton's
I
not
don't know
top
about
3,
that.
I can't take you
I don't
serious.
know.
I hear point guards list.
I don't think
A
that
lot
many
of
people
times
have
they
John
don't have
Stockton as
Stockton top 3.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people have John Stockton in the top 5. To be honest with
We'll
you,
see what the point guard position is, though, Johnny. The point guard position is supposed to be the floor facility. He's facilitating the offense.
Yes.
He's not a person that's supposed to put up a bunch of points. He's not. I understand they have the positionless basketball now, and you have scoring point guards. Got it. I'm not going to argue against that, and I actually like it. Makes the game more versatile. But if we're talking about someone who can facilitate the offense, put the players in the right positions, and can get a bucket, John Stockton could do that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
John
Stockton's going to be top 3 on the list. Period. Players, and CP3 don't have a championship. CP3 needs to be in the top 5. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
sorry.
right.
Wait a minute.
No, but wait. I'm gonna let you go ahead, guys. But that's the thing too. For point guards, I know, but for me, point guards are positional wise. I definitely don't count team accolades. I count your individual accolades. But go ahead, guys. I'm sorry.
But one thing to explain with that, right? The traditional point guard is a guy who scores, who could potentially be a scorer for his team.
That's what I
Jerry West, not just Jerry West and Oscar Robertson led their team to score in multiple years, but also guys like Walt Frazier and Earl Monroe. No, exactly. Despite hold on. Let me just land it. Let me just land it.
Had to do that in that position. Stockton had Malone.
Let me land it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Let me land it. That's what I'm trying to tell you, brother. Those point guards I mentioned, they also play with MVP players on their team too, but they still recognize I have to pick up my scoring in key moments. Oscar Robertson did it at the age of 38 against the Bullets in Game 7. Dropped 38 on them niggas. Because he understood, okay, no. Hold on. Same thing with Walt Frazier when he played with Willis Reed. Willis Reed tore his abductor muscle and came out limping. Game was giving shit. Walt Frazier was like, okay, after score 30 some odd points to give you 19 assists to get this shit done.
So you say
I'm saying this idea that traditional point guard only has to be relegated to facilitating. No, that's only the benchmark. You also have to contribute in moments in scoring, regardless of position.
I'm not.
So you're saying a great point guard is someone that, even though they may not have the good scoring, but when it's needed, they have to be able to showcase that. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. You have to. That's why I said. That's why I said, as Isaiah Thomas said it best. The hardest part about being a point guard is knowing when to do that, because you're going to come across a good defensive team. You're going across a team that's going to take away your offense as a team. So you have to improvise. You have to do other things outside of your normal play to get your team over the hump. Magic did it.
Now, hold on, I want to answer this question. Hold on. Reggie Reg, the super chat, Brandon, I don't know if you see it. He asks here, I love basketball now, being able to take 4 steps now instead of 2 to opening up scoring. Also carrying, double dribbling is exciting basketball. Well, the gather step was added to obviously to give it a better aesthetics to the game, just like they did when they allowed carrying and dribbling in the 90s and the 80s. Because if you talk to the players who played in the 60s, they'll tell you they were allowed to carry and travel throughout the 90s. All right, so you guys, again, don't know the history of basketball. The gather step is not actually a bad thing. It's a good thing. It helps the referees out so that players can make moves and not have to worry about whether you're looking at them crazy. If you gather the ball, you get to take a step, and then you get your 2 steps. So, I mean, I don't know what y'all be talking about. I still think the game is great.
I mean, every player in every era traveled took 4 steps to score points. Like,
I've seen videos of MJ doing it a lot without being called.
Every player did this.
He's incorrect because you still have the gather step that after you dribble the basketball that one time, you still get 2 steps. So it's not a travel. So what is he talking about?
No. Well, no. The difference is that the gather step allows you to delay a dribble, and that's the difference. Before, literally, you can go up the floor without dribbling the ball and bouncing it and make all kind of moves and do all kind of steps. But it's not till you actually grab the ball with 2 hands does the referee look at your feet and then decides. Then that's called a gather step. So once they see you grab the ball, they look to see where you at in that position. If you have your foot on the ground, it's called a gather step. Now you're allowed to take 2 steps because they can't look at you grab the ball and your feet at the same time. So it kind of helps the referee out while he's refereeing the game and officiating the game.
A travel is still 3 steps. So
But
even
it's FIBA rules. But it's FIBA rules too. It's international FIBA rules are falling in line. Again, the NBA needs to get amateur sports like college and high school basketball to do the same because the gather step is not a problem. Same way letting Iverson carry the ball is not a problem. It's good for the game. Imagine leaving somebody to dribble like this all day long. They couldn't put their hand on the side of the ball.
Johnny, I got one question. Do you think they're going to allow you to hit the ball once it hit the rim? Like Euro League does. Once you take the shot, it hits the rim. Do you think they're going to allow you to hit the ball?
Never.
I doubt they'll do it because they haven't did it yet.
No, they're not going to do that. I think what they're going to do is tell the referees to not give the offensive players too much when they're creating contact, because that's what we noticed, and we've noticed that for the last 20 years since Reggie Miller, that players know how to create contact on offense, which forces the referee to call a foul. I always thought if you're the one creating the contact, you shouldn't get a foul called on you. It should only be if the defense is creating the contact. But again, that's the aesthetics of the game. These guys are professionals, man. The NBA is not worried about you haters, man. They got a great product. I watch it every night. I'm gonna watch it today.
They got professional scores. They got professional scorers out there who know they read
hoopers,
the rules,
bro. They got real hoopers out there, man. Those guys can really play basketball, man. It's hard to play into they play good defense. Yes. The problem is that they're so good on offense. Any lapse on defense will lead to a big play. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. So you have to literally play perfect defense.
Johnny, the biggest thing I noticed is if you turn your head away from the person you are on, it doesn't matter if they have the ball or not, they immediately backdoor cut. Immediately just cut to the basket. And it's like they weren't doing that in the 90s. Everybody just had their spot. They're going to stand in their spot, and they're going to watch the ball. Like, there was a lot of ball watching in the 90s. You can't ball watch in today's era. If you take your eyes off your opponent, they're cutting to the rim, and it's an easy bucket every time. So it really is harder to play defense in this era. And then again, you can't be as physical. And the physicality is not defense. Knocking someone out the air is not defense. The art of playing defense is your ability to move laterally to stop someone from getting around you to get to the rim or block their field of vision when they go up on a shot or block the shot. You can't knock someone out the air and say, look at that tough defense. No, that's a foul, bruh. If you come in the lane and I knock you out the air, that is a foul. Jordan should have had 100 fouls back in the 80s. I'm going to be real. In the 90s, they OD'd. In the 90s, they did it a little. They overdid it. They overcompensated to the point to where if you even breathed on Jordan too hard, they blew the whistle. Let's be real. There was a lot of phantom calls for Jordan. So they overcompensated for the superstar calls for Jordan. And I believe in this era, I'm not going to say it's balanced because I'm going to be real. There's a lot of calls a lot of superstar players don't get. Giannis don't get a lot of fouls the way he used to. And B don't get a lot of fouls the way he used to. And we know LeBron don't get a lot of fouls the way he should be getting.
Yeah.
We just know
actually touch on really fast.
Go ahead. Yeah, we're gonna let everybody get their last word. So Travis, go ahead and we'll let Sturdy in and we'll get up out of there. Go ahead, Travis.
Okay. Just real fast. I'm in complete agreement with Twin Man here about any legitimate point guard list should include John Stockton, especially top 5 or 3 minimum. Because but at the same time, Sturdy, I get what you're saying. That again, some of the better or skilled as far as scoring point guards go, some of them can take over offensively, especially in big moments. But if I want a team or guy who's going to make the right play, run my offense to perfection, give me a decent amount of scoring on great percentage or great shooting splits, and also play semi to lockdown defense on a consistent basis and be available. Again, that's either going to be John Stockton, Chris Paul, or Jason Kidd. those are the three guys I would take probably
Facts.
anywhere and fought. Like if I'm just saying, okay, who's gonna do everything for me? In fact, I don't know. The only reason I'm not taking Jason Kidd over John Stockton is because he was wildly less efficient. Again, Magic Johnson, sure, obviously the center, but those guys are the most cerebral point guards you can ever have. Were they going to give you 30, 35 a night all the time? No. Maybe Chris Paul sometimes, but again, there's not a better set of point guards you can tell like that will actually fulfill that job, and again, and provide you with, like you said, impact to your team winning. Again, then you can argue Magic and John Stockton, but John Stockton, there's no way he's not a top 5 point guard of all time.
Y'all, Travis headache went away. His headache went away. He's speaking logically. He's not on the whiskey. He's not on the whiskey.
Right.
Ace 30, go ahead and respond so we get up out of here. Get your last word in, brother. Are you there?
Sturdy's on the whiskey.
Sturdy's on the whiskey. Sturdy's on the whiskey. King John, any last words, brother?
I appreciate y'all bringing on Mike Peak. Thanks Brandon and Johnny for bringing them on. And hey, y'all give us a great show every week, and let's keep doing this.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate that. Thank you. Y'all know who that is. King John is a supporter of the channel. He is a member of the channel, so y'all know you can become a member. You can subscribe, hit that like button. You know you can find us on all platforms, TikTok, Instagram, right here on YouTube. We're also on Facebook. Shout out to everybody that's on the Facebook watching us live now. They've been commenting. Brandon's been going back and forth with them. Any last words, Ishmael?
I don't know. I think Sturdy might have a point actually. If
What point? Not that John Stockton's not a top 5. Don't get me started with you guys, man. But go ahead.
I mean, he was making some interesting points about John Stockton, man. I mean, about being a top 5 point guard. And then when Brandon was talking about Isaiah Thomas is better than John Stockton.
Zesty Isaiah Thomas.
I'm just saying, though, it's making the 90s seem more irrelevant by day when people saying they can't even have a point guard now, the best point guard of the era, the greatest point guard of the era to be in the top 5 considerations for all time guards or point guards. I'm just saying that it's losing credibility by day.
Damn,
and
the 90s is taking a hit.
Yeah,
it's taking
a hit daily.
Yeah, I was just saying that. Yeah,
Stockton is transcendent.
Listen.
Yo, last thing. For all the people mad at, last thing. For all the people mad at the slogan, "We done with the 90s." I need you to talk to your uncles, your grandpops, and all these NBA, all these retired NBA players who have disrespected this era every single chance they got. This is your fault. Period. Point blank. Y'all did it. Hold the L. Done with the 90s.
We're done with the 90s. Big trash.
Big trash.
James Kingdom. All right, well, Sturdy, we was gonna give you a chance, Sturdy.
I'll make quick. Yeah, make quick. So, I agree, Johnny. We are done with the 90s. We're done with John Stockton. We are done with Michael Jordan. We are done with Patrick Ewing. We are done with the 90s. I agree with you, especially John Stockton. So
you heard
just
that
like people has a preference of wanting to say that Kobe Bryant is better than LeBron because of preference of aggressive of scoring, footwork. I understand. I'm not going to ever go against your preference, but in terms of impact on the game and winning, we all know there's better guys better than him, like Oscar Robertson, like Jerry West, like Magic Johnson, like Steph Curry, who are point guards. Simple as that. Just because you are listed at a position does not dictate the type of style of play that you have to play. Period.
You're wrong, Sturdy.
And last thing, I want to end with this.
No last thing, Sturdy.
Michael Jordan never passed Kareem up. And like to subscribe. That's it. Ever.
All right, thank you. Y'all know where to find Ace 30 at. He's always on the GOAT James Kingdom platform, stirring up conversations, and also he's on FYF Sports Debate. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we are the GOAT James Kingdom platform. This is the GOAT James Kingdom show with B. Lee and A. Johnny. I'm A. Johnny, the exposer. That is B. Lee, the sports analyst. John Stockton is top 5 and better than Isaiah Thomas.
John
You
Stockton
guys,
definitely not top 5. Well, he could be top 5, but he's definitely not top 3 because there's already people putting Steph Curry in that conversation as the greatest
oh
point
my
guard. So they're
God,
always going to
Stephen
have
Curry.
Magic and Steph Curry above John Stockton, and most people are going to have Isaiah Thomas above John Stockton. So he's
People
rarely
are
are we
casuals.
going to see John Stockton as top 3 ever. Like we're just
Easily.
not going to see that. Averaging 13 and 10 for like a career doesn't like blow anybody away, but still, like we say, he's the all-time leader in assists and still, so he's going to be in the top 5 all the time because of how what he did in his career. But his game is not going to translate into different eras like Isaiah Thomas would.
Within the
Like
system
Isaiah
he
Thomas was
had.
transferred
I
a
don't care.
different era.
Listen. We're gonna get up out of here. Isaiah
right.
got less assists than Mark Jackson.
Isaiah,
Good night.
he got less assists.
He got
Yeah,
less assists than Mark Jackson.
Mark Jackson,
Yeah,
nice.
he definitely got
What?
less assists, but
I want my point
Isaiah
guard to
Thomas
pass the
will
ball,
always be
not
ranked
be zesty
higher.
and kissing people on the court. That's what I.
Isaiah Thomas did pass the ball. Isaiah Thomas has over 9,000 assists, and you know
Over
also
9,000.
Just
you
9,000.
said what?
Just
Over
9,000.
You said what?
Just 9,000. That's all he got is 9,000. That's all he got.
I mean, that's a lot. That's in the top 10.
It was a lot. It was a lot in the
That's in the
trash
top 10.
ass 80s.
And when he retired, he was like top 3.
When the 90s came along,
When he
Stockton blew
retired.
that shit out the water. Fuck
Right.
the 90s.
You know, Stockton's great. Yeah, he's great. But you know, this show is GOAT James Kingdom. So, you know, let's give a shout out to, the GOAT. Just like I was saying earlier, in year 21, he's the only player in NBA history averaging 25 points per game, 8 assists per game, shooting 50% from the field and 40% from the three-point field. No one in NBA history has done that before, and LeBron James is doing that right now. Each stop LeBron has had in his NBA career, he has had seasons that no one has ever done what he's done before in his NBA career. And I'm going to just pull this up before we get out of here. His first stop in Cleveland in 2009-10, he was the only player to average 29, 7, 8.5 assists on 50% shooting. No one's done that in NBA history. 2012-13 season, 26, 7, 55% field goal percentage, 40% from three-point line. No NBA player has done that in their NBA history before. LeBron, the only person who's done that. 17-18, he's the only player with 27, 9 assists on 54% or higher shooting. And then, like we said this year, LeBron James has continued to do things that no NBA player has done in his career. Each stop he's made, he won titles with all of these teams. LeBron James is the greatest player we have ever seen before in the history of the game, and his 5-year all-time span is unmatched. 5 All-Stars, 5 first team on NBA's, 5 all defensive team first teams, 4 regular season MVPs. No one has had a 5-year span like that in their NBA history. Nobody has had this span before. The most MVPs in a 5-year span, 6 MVPs he did from 2009 to 13. LeBron James is the GOAT, and there is not even a conversation about who is the greatest player of all time because LeBron James is the best to ever do it, and he's the first to ever do everything, and he's the only player to do most things. LeBron James is a GOAT, hands down.
And Brandon just killed that.
Impressive.
Brandon just killed that, bro. Brandon just
Hey,
killed that, man.
with that said, ladies and gentlemen, this is GOAT James Kingdom. Peace and blessings, y'all. Enjoy
Peace
your
out,
Sunday.
guys.
All right, see you guys next week.